Well. Hello. How we doing? Welcome back. Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. How we doing? Hope you're well. Hope you've had a lovely start to your weeks. All of you.
Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome back to Ninja Pulls. Hey, Guns and Raiders. Hello. Lily tried. Hello. 3 hellos. Just 2 from my hand. Not bad, though. I'll take it. Moose. Hey, man. Likes to play catch. Morning. Zdenya, good afternoon-ish. Yeah, good afternoon. And thanks for the hug. Likes to play catch. Moose. Who dis? Below the watch streak reached. Currently a 25 stream streak. Damn, girl. I feel honored. Thank you so much. I feel honored all of you are here. Awesome. Hope you had a good Monday. Hope you're enjoying the week and that your Daedric War celebration event is going all right. I keep forgetting or almost forgetting to get tickets. Hey, Schnacks, how you doing? Hello, welcome on in, everyone. Welcome back to Ninja Pulls. This is Khan, and very happy to be here today. Been a couple of days. What has happened in the last 48 hours? Or what is it? More like 44 hours? I have made an epic video, which was completely unplanned. We were supposed to do something else, and then, yeah, things happened. And we sort of changed the brief for this video on the fly, and decided to do... Well, I really liked the Solstice story. There were plenty of things I didn't like about it. Missed opportunities, whatever. The Writhing Wall event, let's not even go there. We know what was wrong with that. But I thought there were some cool things. They did some really fun and interesting moments for, like, story, character. Plus, just the idea of going back and revisiting the story from the base game in the Elder Scrolls Online. Sure, MMO stories are clunky as hell, and ESO is no exception. Well, it is in some ways, but basically it falls victim to all the same stuff. But anyway, when I finally played the Solstice story around the time the wall went down, I was like, there's some fun and interesting stuff here. And even if they're not nailing it, a little bit like the event itself, it's like, man, if they can just turn this game into the thing that we know it has the potential to be. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting one. And yeah, so we've got a video all about that. And I know a lot of you are like me. You don't play the stories, or you want to, but you don't make time. Some of you aren't that interested. You log in to do your trials or your PvP and whatever else you got going on, your dungeons, and then when that is over, it's not like you're gonna wind down with a whole bunch of story. Nuh-uh. Forget about it. So it moves to the back of the queue. Like, I still haven't done Somerset, for example. I know most of what happens because it's been out for so long. It's like people knowing who Yoda is, even though they haven't seen Star Wars. You know, if you play this game long enough, you get it. So there are loads of these old things I haven't done yet, but I decided to do both halves of Solstice, and yeah, we've put together not just a recap of the story. There is that, but it's more about, you know, remember that this character comes from this background, and here's what they're bringing to the Sturk Fellowship, or here's what they're bringing to the Worm Cult, and a little bit more of a deep dive in that respect, and it turned into a complete monster project. So that's where we are. That should be coming out maybe later today, maybe tomorrow. It just needs to be approved and blah blah blah. But I made some very fun graphics for it. I used the Staff of Worms logo that we made for Tenfest, and I did some fun things with that. So yeah, look forward to you guys checking that out and letting me know. Nah, dude, bruh, don't waste your time on this. Just DPS videos, please. Honestly, I would be perfectly fine hearing that. And thank you for the follow. Pro Shahira, how you doing? Welcome on in. Moose already got all the event style pages, so I guess I'll just get tickets for group repair kits. Only have 390, gonna run out. Yeah, exactly. Only. I have actually been using mine. I am starting to run out. I think I've only got a dozen left. Because most weeks I will use a couple, at least. Just because I'm in a couple of groups that are doing... Actually, I'm in 2 groups that are doing quite difficult content where wipes are somewhat inevitable. And then I'm in a group where the content isn't that hard, but we are learning. So there are a lot of wipes. Some of you may know which group I'm talking about. Most haven't been using mine. Might need them later on, but I also have like 3k regular repair kits. Such a hoarder. I love it. But Lauda and I were talking yesterday about somebody. It wasn't a mutual acquaintance, but we both know at least one player of ESO who's got, you know, the Undaunted Plunder that you get from trials. They've got like tens of thousands of those or whatever because they just never sold them. They keep like letting them pile up. So they have millions and millions of gold locked up in... I don't know, what would you call that in terms of a financial instrument? I guess it's a bit like a bond because it's got a... It's not quite because that's the term is fixed, right? And the value. But whatever. Let's not get into that. Bitcoin. Oh yeah, that's exactly not what it's like. Because these things have a fixed and inherent value. You know, it's non-negotiable. You can't show up to the trader and say, nah, those Undaunted Plunder, they're only worth 1 gold now. You fucked it. You're sitting on them too long. Imagine that. That's what we should do. We should just have a video game with stable currencies and financial instruments. And the stuff is really not that hard to understand. It's that it's always so... It's so many degrees separated from reality. There's kind of a pain in the ass to wrap your head around it. And I had to, because I had to do some work with banks and asset managers back in the day, and wealth managers. And in order to, you know, talk to them and pitch them for business, I had to have more than a basic understanding of what they did. Man. And all of my mates who are like... I've got a few friends who are... kind of Bitcoin bros, you know, crypto bros. They love that shit. I think of myself as a complete ignoramus when it comes to financial assets and securities and that kind of stuff. But I know 10 times more than these guys. And I'm not even exaggerating. I asked one of them, so do you even know what a hedge fund is? Because he was throwing around these words around, you know, crypto and how it's no different from what the financial situation, like all the financial vehicles we already have. And I asked him, what is a hedge fund? This is a simple thing. He didn't know what it was. Couldn't tell me. Didn't even have a clue. Not even close. So, yeah, weird. Anyway, let's steer the conversation away from Bitcoin. But yeah, Undaunted Plunder. That's who you are, Moose. Just hoarding up all the random things. Moose, I wish I saved all my plunder. Don't need the gold now. Red Dead Dover King, good morning. And good afternoon to almost everybody else. It is 11 minutes to midday here in the UK. I was about to say in sunny Somerset, but looking out the window, it's sun-ish, not sunny. What is everyone else up to today? Just going to warm up with a bit of Rittage. I thought we could take a look at the PvP announcement. It's kind of a big deal. Moose, I'm the person who finishes single-player games with 10k health potions in my inventory, because I might need them later, so I don't use them. Yeah, so you're really good at, like, survival horror, I guess, because you always have a shit ton of ammo. I tend to overstock on those things as well. Like in Doom, which is one of my favorite games to play, pretty much any of the ones in the series, but especially the last few. Love those. Whenever I get the BFG ammo, I just don't use it. I sit on it, and then occasionally, if there's BFG ammo lying around and I can see it right there, then I'm like, oh, whatever, and then I fire it just for the sake of it, just so I can keep it full. It's not how you're supposed to use the weapon. You know, you're supposed to look at your encounter and think, oh dear, that is an entire New Zealand rugby team worth of demons heading for me right now. Better press my I win button to get rid of them, but I just, yeah. So I think I know where you're coming from, Moose. And Lorinda13, hi everyone. Hello. Schnacks, work. Yeah. It's gotta be done. Gotta be done. I'm really looking forward to maybe after the stream today. I have a lot of work still, but it's not like urgent. And the last couple of nights I've had literally 3 to 5 hours sleep, like 3 nights in a row. So I must be at a maximum of like 12 for the last 3 nights. I'm doing fine. I know I'm not an idiot. I can't do this forever, but we had deadlines and stuff, and yeah, so I'm really hoping I can maybe take an afternoon, evening, at the very least, of chill work, if not like an afternoon off. I might have to wait a couple of days, but please guys, let me know when this Worm Cult, Seasons of the Worm Cult video comes out. It is long, and maybe some of you haven't played Solstice yet and are like, I don't want to know what happens. Stick your fingers in your ears, la 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 la, don't tell me any spoilers. I hope you will consider watching it anyway, or at least the first half, because there's a ton of backstory here with the Worm Cult, with all the characters that are brought in, NPCs that have never met together before. Like, it's really fun seeing Walks in Ash and Razum Dar, like, palling around and shit like that. I think a lot of people didn't... I don't know, it's the kind of subtle things in the story that don't necessarily jump out at you, but I dug it. And I'm a professional overthinker, especially when it comes to video games and movies, TV, that kind of thing. Anything with a writer or a designer, I love to overthink these things. And yeah, I thought there was a lot of fun stuff in the Seasons of the Worm Cult. Like, it was a lot better than I expected, especially part 2. Even though, like I said, the usual MMO clunk is all there. Some good shit. Alright, well today we're going to do some event stuff. If anyone hasn't done their dailies today, feel free to hop in and join me. I'm on the PC EU server. I don't know if you want to spam like multiple, maybe do a whole bunch of them, so that we can line them up, and then you don't have to do any in the next few days. You can just turn them in because you've already completed them. That's a nice bit of thought technology that I used to always do on like the day before an event or the few days before an event. I would stack up a load of these things while the bosses were all there and just there for the killing. And then all you do is just hand them in, and it takes a few seconds and you're done for like the rest of the event. And that's yeah, it's really good, but unfortunately I haven't been organized enough to do it in recent years. Beautiful Barbarian, hey, nice to see you. I'm sure it would do a lot more storyline if ESO employed the voice. Oh man, ESO does employ the voice though? Are you kidding? Razum Dar, one of my favorite, like, he's not, this voice actor isn't no Wes Johnson, you know, it's no James Earl Jones or whatever, but there's so much subtlety. I think it's really hard to do voice acting, and it's extremely, like, it's a magic trick to do voice acting which telegraphs a character's emotion and truth and, you know, all that blah blah, whilst also being subtle. Because Raz is not, he's not like a huge, like, crazy impression. But it's very, very different from the guy's regular speaking voice. But he does it so fucking well that you just believe this is a guy with a somewhat charming voice and accent who's just doing his job. He's just doing his day-to-day. You don't get the sense of, like, you know, when, like, a dungeon boss, that they, you know, this is a voice actor having a fucking ball in the booth. You know, really making love to that microphone. Scordo is a good example of the opposite. Like, I love that voiceover as well, but it's very much, you know, a sort of a cartoonishly over-the-top delivery. Both in the way that he's written, but also the way that he's performed. Whereas Raz is a much more like, tricky thing to pull off, I think. Yeah, it's good fun. But I appreciate what you're saying, beautiful barbarian. Not to argue too hard. Yeah, I mean you, mate. Yeah, Erin, how you doing? Working, lurking. Well, thank you for doing both. Yeah, no worries. You can send the gold to me, Zdenya. Nice. Hey, Pachushka. I'm probably saying that wrong. Apologies if I am. Pachushka. Hello, new to ESO, level 10, and I'm wondering, is it normal that people are not chatting back with you in this game? I feel so alone, even though it's an MMO. Yeah, it's very... The community can be very... It can feel very schizophrenic, if that's the right word, like hot and cold. It depends which zone you're in. And if there's anything happening there right now. So for example, if I were to travel to Somerset right now, down here, or Morrowind, Vardenfell specifically up here, because there's an event going on in both those locations, also here in the Clockwork City, down at the bottom there, you will find zone chat popping, but you probably won't get any response, like if you're asking questions, because there'll be too much going on. But then if you're in quieter areas, so yeah, I think it is normal. Don't worry about it. It's not that people are mean or rude. It's just that everyone's doing their own thing, and sometimes you'll get lucky. It's like even if you do a dungeon with just 3 other people, there are 4 of you in there, you might be the only person who types hello at the beginning of the dungeon, and then everyone just ignores you. Maybe they didn't see it, maybe they don't know what to say, maybe their English isn't great, maybe they're just like 17 years old and they don't give a shit about communicating with randos on the internet. It could be so many reasons, but everyone is logging into the game to get something done. So yeah, when we have questions in zone chat, they do not always get answered. That's a fair point. Actually, right, cool. I was close enough with Pachushka. My wife is Czech, so I guess I'm in that weird space where I should be able to pronounce a lot of Central and Eastern European words that land in my lap, but I don't really have the background in there. I'm Danish and live in the UK, so certainly not an expert. Well, they did go to a Catholic school, so loads of Polish and Italian and African kids there. Anyway, Gilly-chan, hello, how you doing? Sweating and lurking shapeless sounds sexy. What kind of sweat we talking? Gym? Housework? Or just your thermostat broke? Welcome on either way, shapeless. Hope you have a good day, man. And most people who talk in zone chat generally aren't the kind of people you want to talk to. There is that as well. Guild chat's usually great unless you're in weird guilds. Again, that can depend on the zone. I've been reliably informed, although I don't know personally. Let's test this theory. A few of my friends say that Auridon zone chat is the most cursed in the game, right? You go to Auridon, and you will just see the weirdest shit. Everyone in chat who hangs out in Auridon, raise your hand. So now I've just arrived. It's pretty quiet. We're not in peak time. But I'm going to stand here for 2 minutes and see what pops off. It's probably better to do it 8 in the evening or something like that. Petrushka, yeah, I see. Guns and Raiders, appreciate you for overthinking about gaming and lore, also paying attention to details added within ESO. I love it, and I'll share it in case other people are like, huh, I missed that, or hey, I noticed that, I'm glad somebody else did. There are definitely people who'll be like, bro, it's a game, who cares? I'm here for the trials or the PvP, and that's fine. They're not playing the game wrong if they skip this stuff. Alright, so the only thing in zone chat so far is in Russian. Which I don't read. Full of high elves, of course it's cursed. Yeah. NA Auridon Gilly is the most cursed. Don't know about the EU one. Alright, well there we go. Gilly-chan, I'm good. Waiting for lunch to be ready. And you? I am glad to be back. Glad to be back. Too much work recently. But it's good. Not going to complain. Otherwise the work will go away. and I'll just be a man who's dancing on the internet for money without making any, so yeah. You don't want to be that. Somebody else typing in Russian, that's it so far. Alright. So Auradon not living up to its reputation. Not yet. But yeah, you'll get like weird conversations here about which race would be the best in bed and stuff like that. Oh no, I shouldn't have mentioned that. Because now we're gonna have that conversation, aren't we? Ahel's gonna kick off and we're gonna have that. Is that a hint for things to come? Dancing for money? Yeah, I didn't mean dancing literally. But you know what I mean. Just debasing myself generally. Grotwood is the cursed area, so I'm getting an Oldbury Dominion theme here. Lord is saying yogurt, infinite archive, and ninja pulls for me. That sounds awesome. Sounds like the triple whammy you got right there. Is that why Ahel's so quiet? Because you're in infinite archive together. And he's busy trying to taunt everything and stack everything. Ahel, you missed one. You suck. Can't pick up that small lad over there in the corner. You're lucky he's AFK. God damn it. Shapeless on PCNA, Auradon, yeah, up to scripts, teasing novels. Wow. So yeah, Auradon is really like the home of the, what should we say? The home of the Maverick, if we wanted to be polite. The home of the reprobates, if we want to be a little bit more unkind. But yeah, welcome on in, everybody. I don't know why we're talking about this. I guess because Petrushka had a question. Is it normal for me to get just ignored sometimes in zone chat? Even if there seem to be people around. We were saying, yeah, sadly, yes, the community in ESO is lovely, but they're often head down trying to focus on whatever it is they're trying to do. There's a mountain of things to do in this game. Good to remember that when you're new, you know, when somebody does stop to help you, they're being awesome. It's not because they've got nothing better to do. It's because they're being sound and nice. And when people ignore you, it's not necessarily because they're dicks. They might just not have time, or they're focused on their own thing. Or maybe they're feeling like a noob as well. There's a bit of a learning curve here, and the game is a great way of making people feel like it's beyond them at times. It isn't, for the record. But, yeah. But Lord knows the other way around. I missed one. No problem. I got it handled. I see. Lunch ready. I'll be back. Nice. Buon appetit. Buon appetito. And Moose used to be a guy on PSEU, constantly spamming zone chat in Stormhaven. Not seen him for a few years. I kind of miss his insane ramblings. I was AFK, we can still hear in the headset. Busted. And I take offense to the which race is better in bed question. It's obviously Nords. Why? Because they're used to the cold, so the nipples don't get hard so quickly? I mean, I am a Nord. I'm trying to think of what possible advantage. Height, which I'm just gonna be straight with you, Aheld. I'm guessing you're a tall man. Not always an advantage, depending on your romantic partner. Being a tall person. We talked about this the other day. A friend of mine, when I was about 17, 18. This lovely girl. She was great looking. She was extraordinarily tall. And she was almost always single. Because all the guys her age, and probably a couple of years older than her, almost all of them were like 30 centimeters shorter than her minimum. Anyway, let's not get into that. But not always an advantage. Trying to think what else have Nords got in the sack. Ahead. The ability to swing heavy weaponry. We probably don't want to go there, do we? OMG, love the random chat here, Lena Elvira. I'm sorry. Oh, it's only partly my fault. But yeah, Moose, that you saying you kind of missed that guy's insane ramblings. That immediately made me think of Big Ben, who was a celebrated, also somewhat sometimes loathed figure in Craglorn's zone chat. He would just sit there, seemingly all day, all week, just shouting at people who were trying to set up pug runs. And generally just trying to be a nice guy and calling bullshit and saying, especially when people would post for carry runs, he'd pounce on them and say, no, carries are bullshit, you don't need carries, just learn to play, it's easy, join a teaching trial or whatever. And then sometimes people would post nonsense stuff like, oh, Sunspire or VSS link achievement. And then he would respond with like, you link achievement. How do we know you've got it and you're not just trying to get a carry here? And yeah, so he took it upon himself to police the zone chat in Craglorn, which is a little bit like being the guy who walks up and down the beach throwing all the seashells back in the sea. Like, your work is never done. It's just a constant... Like, why would you do that? Why would you stand against the tide? Gilly leaving the stream on, thank you so much. Guns N' Roses, that's me on PSN right now. Help everyone and anyone. That's because you are a legend. Free everything like crafting and so on, appreciate it. Fezman, hello! Rift has always had pretty bad zone chat too, at least on PCNA. Yeah, I never hang around long enough these places. When I was doing the quests for the first time, I would generally, you know how I'm doing this here, you know, I've got my stop for writs and deconning and whatnot. I didn't necessarily do writs back then, but I would definitely have a city. It was like my base. And that would move around, so yeah, I guess that would have been the time when going from Stonefalls, Deshaan, Shadowfen, Eastmarch, Rift, you know, to pay real close attention to the vibe in Zone Chat and how it changes as you move around. Interesting. Shapeless, yo, Guns N' Roses, in case someday I need 1 million on PSNA, let me know, and we can trade from server to server. Yes. That is a good thing. Do use contacts that you make either around here or on the Discord, stuff like that. I've done it a bunch of times. People who are poor on EU but rich on NA, and I'm the other way around. We can just give each other a cool 5 million, and it's like, oh, we've just made each other's lives so much easier. It's amazing. And how you doing, Lena? Hope you're having a good day. A good week so far. Yeah, Big Ben, Valor, exactly, yeah. He reported all the all the persons who offered carry runs. It's pretty funny. Most the guy I mentioned, I found his Facebook because his PSN was his name. I see. Even on Facebook, he was ranting about weird shit. Like complaining about ESO and how the devs can't ban him despite having been banned. I mean, people keep coming back. This is a problem. I'm sure it'll happen to us one day. We'll get some limpet who thinks they need to chase after me or Maya or someone in my chat, and when they get banned, they'll just make a new account, and there's nothing that Zos can do about it. Or, you know, if they just take it to Twitch, nothing they can do about it. It's out of their control. Which is a very annoying thing, frankly. I guess maybe one day in future there'll be some sort of a standard procedure whereby, I don't know, an online game can liaise with Twitch and say, hey, yeah, we got these. If we can establish a connection between these two accounts and link a bad actor, it's probably just too much work, too costly, and it's too easy to evade and get around all these bans and restrictions and stuff. Alright, I had Nords being best equals can't. We're basically both real-life Nords. Got to stick with the home team. I mean, I'm all in favor. I'm just... Hello there. I'm an objective man. You know, I want to know. You explain why. It's not enough to have a circular argument. Nords are the best in the sack because they're obviously the best in the sack. It's very unrelated, but that reminds me of a video that's recently been doing the rounds again. It was from months ago when the, you know, the Epstein... There was another hearing where Kash Patel was summoned back over the summer before a congressional committee, and they were, like, grilling him on, alright, so you've seen the files. How many times is Trump's name in there and all this stuff? And the guy... I felt like... I very rarely feel bad for this man, but he'd obviously been told by his boss, just... No, you can't say I'm not in it because that would be perjury, but basically don't say anything at all. Says, alright, so I don't know the exact figure. Okay, well, is it more than 1,000? No. Is it more than 500? No. Is it more than 100? No. Alright, 50? What is the number? I don't know what the number is, but I know it's not that. Very, very funny. And you know, all you need is someone... I don't know, like an interrogative type of person who will really go after this issue like a terrier going after a mouse in the woodpile, and you're screwed all of a sudden. Yeah, so I don't wanna rest on, you know, lazy arguments or assumptions. We need facts. We deal in facts here at Ninja Pulls. If my DPS is shit, I want to know why. If a girl says I did a good job in the sack, I want to know why, damn it. No, be specific. Prove it. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it sounds like a sad existence, Guns N' Raiders, that's true. I like your strong case. Exactly. I feel like Argonians are the way to go. Dual tails, you know? Yeah. I was thinking about the prehensile tail thing. Also, what about Khajiit with the multiple nipples? Would that make them... I think that's a Red Dwarf joke. When the cat in Red Dwarf is like... He has to have a medical exam. And the captain says, 6 nipples? I wonder what the female of the species is like. And the cat opens an eye and says, pretty easy to please in bed. Especially if you play the piano. But then we've got Khajiit characters. They have 6-packs. No 6 nipples. So I guess bang goes that theory. Lena Vera, best luck this week. Oh, best lunch this week. Right now following the stream, but don't hate on me because I'm playing Animal Crossing, not you. So why would I ever hate on you, Lena? All good. No, thanks for joining us. Whether or not you're playing ESO, I don't mind at all. I just happen to be here. This is one of my favorite games. It's my home game. But, yeah, we've been playing a lot of other stuff recently. Facts. ESO players don't like facts. Moose. Sometimes. No, they don't. But I do. Facts are delicious. Hey, Lucas Zen, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. Will they remove Blackreach permanently in future? Alright, let's have a look. On that note, let's go and take a look at the announcement. I'm not going to read the entire thing because it's quite long and most of you read it already, I'm sure. But here we go. Let me just catch up with the chat first. Can't expose as not an ESO player. Yeah. LeBro, good afternoon. How you doing? And Aaron Baron. Yeah, let's get to that. I'm not sure about Blackreach. Yeah, I think Blackreach will be gone. But yeah, let's check out the actual statement here. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know here more than you. Yeah. The Khajiit with the multi-nipples. Nice. Guns N' Raiders. Glad I made you laugh there. Lena Vera playing Animal Crossing. Trying to get my shit in order on my island before the new update drops in January. Man, what's going on with my pronunciation today? My ability to read. So excited. Nice. And Lucas, then you're welcome. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. Alright, so Jess posted a... By the way, currently investigating issues players are having on PCEU. Don't know if that's been resolved. I guess not. So if you are having some strange login issues, don't panic. Hopefully that'll be fixed soon enough. Wedgie Queen, hello! Erin Barrett and my 2DC guilds play Black Reach only. Well, I'm sure they will change. Vesma, not just because red guards have multiple nippled goddess. There's a furnishing statue. I mean, once we get into like gods, goddesses, and Daedra and whatnot, then we've got Mehrunes Dagon with his 4 arms. There are Daedra with 6 arms. I mean, that's some real elaborate mutual masturbation going on, right? I'm just gonna leave it at that. Anyway, moving on to PvP. Because Erin Baron, I'm very grateful for you steering us off that topic. Moose had a crazy long load screen. Wouldn't surprise me if that's... Oh, I see. Yeah. Who knows what else they have multiple of. If there are any Star Trek fans here, I'll just tell you very quickly. There is a reference in old Trek from like the 90s that Klingons are very hard to kill. Because, well, they're very tough, they're big, they're a large, muscular warrior race or whatever, but also it turns out they came up with this law that they have multiple redundant organs, like they have a second heart and things like this, so that if one is rendered inoperative, you stab one through the heart, they could just carry on for a while at least. They're like cows with their multiple stomachs. So not a very efficient organism, but very, very hardy. And with the new Trek, I think it was the end of Star Trek Discovery season 1, which I only watched quite recently. It's like 6 years old now or something. But they walk past a Klingon pissing in the street, and you don't see anything, but you do see 2 jets coming out. So speculation ended right there. That's kind of the area we're in now, Schnacks, isn't it? I remember, I don't think it will change because they don't prefer GH plus lags, ball groups, and tryhards. Alright, well, let's just read what they've said. So we've got another Vengeance test coming in December. This is not new, but with that coming up, we wanted to give everyone an update on the Vengeance testing and where we're headed with Cyrodiil. Jess, by the way, this is part of her whole thing about we want to be much more transparent with the players. Discussions that we are having internally that we are able to share. Let's fucking do it. So I support that. Whether we like what they tell us is obviously a different matter, but the fact that she wants to get this stuff out in the streets for us to talk about, and often that is the point. I think they, like with this one, they do want our responses and reactions and so on. So the goals. Earlier this year, we set up to try some new things with Zero to address the following specific goals. Increase the player cap. They're pretty much trebling the player cap. So the campaigns are lively, full, there's lots of action to enjoy. Cyrodiil was originally designed to support 900 total concurrent players, 300 each alliance. We have not been able to support those target numbers in the current non-Vengeance Zero campaigns. So they have not told us exactly what these numbers were before. I think this is the first time. But it's 360, so 120 per alliance, which is not even half of what they wanted. It's almost down to a third of what they would like to have and what they consider to be an acceptable number of concurrent players to make Cyrodiil pop and make it fun, make it worth playing. So by their own admission, they are like way short of the goal here. But they just haven't been able to have that many people, because even with the 360 cap, there is frustrating latency and related game performance issues, especially during large, sustained battles. So reduce those and in turn increase fun and enjoyment. And now, through testing, determine if overall ability complexity is the main cause of server stress and performance, especially during mass battles and in high pop campaigns. We did test other potential causes. Yeah, they did some of the tests a couple of years back. Oh, and they've done more tests during Vengeance, such as item sets, procs. Ability complexity was the primary suspected main cause. Interesting. And Lena Elvira, yeah, I thought it was my PC. Should have checked. Oh, I see, I see. So you did have issues logging in. And Petrushka, holy... Yeah, sorry. I'm guessing that was something I said. The double dick comment. Moose, I'm seeing so many people saying they would love Vengeance style build setup for group PvE content. Oh, what? No. People, oh man, that is an interesting discussion, but people gotta get it straight. Vengeance is not what the devs want. It is not what the players want, but it is something the devs have realized is one of the only possible solutions to Cyrodiil performance problems. The other solutions include, abandoning it completely. Nobody wants that. Another solution includes, well, do nothing. Just leave it and accept defeat. Nobody wants that either. So I think, whilst it is absolutely fine to gripe and criticize Vengeance, I'm not a huge fan. I'd much rather have full fat Zero. That's what I'm used to. That's what I've come to love. It does make a difference when it performs and when you can have big, big fights with lots of people. And it's become clear, as we'll see, we can't have both. And it sucks, but at least the devs are being open. Yeah, we can't give you everything that you want. We can't give you everything that we want to give you. It's like column A and column B kind of thing. Fezman, for those who know Mass Effect lore, it's canon that Krogan have 4 testicles. I don't think I knew that. I never completed the original trilogy, so maybe I missed the bit where they mentioned that. But yeah, Mass Effect takes a lot of inspiration from Star Trek in those areas. I don't mean I mean in a good way. They take those ideas and build on it. Mass Effect is great. Great writing. Group PvE was made at the Vengeance style only. I would uninstall so fast. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I would be out of here. Alright, so we've held 3 Vengeance tests so far. Let's just spin through this. For the first, which was PC, EU, and NA, yeah, we normalized stats, attributes, consumables, so it was very, very limited. And it was fun because it worked and there were loads of people there, but it was not fun because of the Vengeance. Right? Because of the Vengeance rule set. It was fun in spite of the Vengeance rule set. You know what I mean? Like, if you get your hand slammed in the car door just before you go and have a really great sexual encounter, you're having fun in that encounter despite having your hand slammed in the car door. Not because, but a lot of players basically jump to that conclusion seemingly on the forums and some comments I've seen on Reddit and so on, especially in Twitch chat with PvP streamers. They're like, no way, you're crazy, Vengeance is the best thing ever, it's so much more fun than regular Zero. And there are reasons why. There's the increased pop, the level of action, the huge fights that you can get into. Like, I've got amazing videos of like Zergs of mounts just riding across, storming across the landscape. That is awesome. And that is made possible by the reduced complexity of the rule set, right? Granted. Also, there's the fact that somebody like me who doesn't stay super plugged into Cyrodiil is like, oh, this is actually quite handy. I could just jump in. I don't need to think about a build or anything. I don't need to worry about my sets. I just port in and I kind of have everything I need. Everything I need, because all of those factors that I need to get up to speed with, they've been removed. They're off the table. So I don't have to worry. Like, if I know the game well enough to play some PvP, I'm good to go. Obviously, players who aren't like used to, they haven't got the muscle memory down yet or whatever, or don't know how keeps work or sieges, they're still on the back foot. But all the other people who know how the game works, but aren't super duper up to speed on PvP, they get that nice feeling of being able to just jump in. But I think a lot of people did confuse that, didn't they, with, oh, Vengeance is better. No, it isn't. It's correlation, not causation. Anything. So the specific goal was to give us a starting point to reduce things to the most basic level so we could evaluate the findings and begin adding things back in. That's exactly what they said. It's exactly what they've done. And it's the communication between the beginning and now that's been so frustrating. We've had very little. They've basically just announced what the next test is going to be without any context of like, well, hang on, what are you thinking? Like, where are you headed with this? What kind of Cyrodiil are we going to end up with? And I think that's why Jess and the team have obviously realized this. So better late than never, we're now getting a bit more context. And Fezman saying, a positive to Vengeance for me is the convenience of being able to just pick up and play. Exactly, yeah, without needing to switch builds. A negative is that it always seems to come down to a numbers game. Right. Yeah, there's nowhere near as much reactivity, build diversity, so many of the things that make open world PvP in this game interesting are limited or gone from Vengeance. Anyway, we saw the most players ever in a single campaign, the largest sustained battles. Yeah, we've all seen this before. Survey results were also very positive. Yeah, the fact they had a golden pursuits is also a good thing. Now, for the second test, we brought in console communities. The Vengeance rule set was largely the same as the first, but with the addition of weapon skill lines and assault and support. The goal of this test was to build upon the baseline we set during our first, slowly begin introducing more skill lines and abilities, and evaluate the results. At the end of this test, we saw similar results with better game performance, low latency, higher pop, larger battles, etc., etc. This overlapped with Zeal and Zenithar, which not everyone loved. No, people were bummed about that. Problem is, they have such a packed calendar. They needed to have the guts to crimp these normal events, which honestly, I don't think players would have minded. If it's going to be a 7-day event instead of a 10-day event, and then we have room for a week and a half of Vengeance in between, I don't know. Maybe that would have been possible, but as it was, you know, their standing calendar is already so freaking busy. They just didn't have room to put Vengeance in without overlaying it on top of something else, and that pissed people off. So like, well, I can't be bothered to do both. Or people who were doing Vengeance, like, well, there's no one here because you've got an event going on. You're pulling us in two different directions. Come on. So that wasn't great. Aaron, I love Vengeance. We should look at adding it to PvE as well. Nice. I know you're not serious about that. And yeah, Cocaine Badger, thank you very much for the follow, and thank you for that excellent name. Dig it. Guns N' Roses did not enjoy the appeal of Vengeance. I would rather the concept be within our standard Cyrodiil battles. Sure, I understand that. Alatara, how you doing? Welcome on in. Hello. And Akrasus, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Moose blocked. Don't worry, guys. They're all pals. It's fine. Anyway, for the third test, we added in... Yeah, it was the same as the first two, but they added in meat bags. Also, Fighters Guild, Mages Guild, and Armor skill line with active abilities. Yeah, I mean, nobody used those, but they were there. And we introduced certain progression and cosmetic systems to see if that was... Because, yeah, if you take all this... The point is, if you take all that out of Ciro, all the PvE stuff, the Sky Shards, achievements, it's like, well, what am I even doing here? Like, that's kind of important for it to feel a part of the world, rather than just a blood sport arena. So, yeah, I guess that was important. It felt like, why are you testing that at the time? But with hindsight, I guess they needed to at some point. And yeah, similar to the second test, our goal was to introduce more things that players enjoy and expect in a Ciro campaign, and monitor their impact on latency, performance, overall experience. Right. No golden pursuits during that test, and we saw disappointment about that. We also ran this test during the Undaunted celebration, which players understandably noted they had higher interest in participating in versus this test. Also, there was fatigue. It was the third one. People had kind of been there, done that. It was like, yeah, I get it now. I get it. Even though Zos still needed to test, we were kind of over it, a lot of us, you know? I definitely didn't go... I think I played a quarter of the time in the third test that I must have done in the first two. Even though population in Vengeance was lower during this test, it still performed well. A strangely worded sentence. And participant numbers were still higher than our typical pop caps in a normal Ciro campaign. Well, that's good. Survey results were more mixed, and we saw less positivity. Players noted fatigue with the tests, and a desire to be able to play their own unique characters and builds in Cyrodiil, and frustration that it ran during another in-game event. So yeah, they're just being honest. Like, this is... We already know this because we told them. This is them. This is us saying we heard it, and we're not going to hide from it. All right. This is the bit I thought was a little bit more interesting. Can't really zoom in because it just shrinks back down if I do. It's unblockable and undodgeable, Aaron. Nice. Petrushka, so this Cyrodiil area is the only place where it's massive battle events PvP, because I'm guessing PvP through factions is disabled in here. So what it is, let's go back into the game for a moment. So currently there are 3 types of PvP, if we don't count the card game and dueling. You can duel anyone almost anywhere. Players can say no, they can tell you to fuck off, or they can, you know, get involved and you might win, they might win, whatever. But dueling and the card game aside, 3 types of PvP. There's Cyrodiil. That is open world, where you arrive here if you're Breton, or, you know, if you're Daggerfall Covenant, rather, not just Breton. So Bretons, Orcs, Redguards. In the south, Aldmeri Dominion, High Elves, Bosmer, Altmer, Bosmer, Khajiit. And in the northeast, my character is Ebonheart Pact. So Dark Elves, Argonians, Nords. Imperials, you have to choose an alliance just arbitrarily, I guess. And if you have the Any Race, Any Alliance perk, then obviously you can circumvent those limitations. But that's the idea, and you can travel around based on... Have I not got a home campaign at the moment? Yeah, let me just home one of these, because then we'll see an actual map. There we go. So you can see right now, if you port in on Ebonheart Pact or Aldmeri Dominion, you're fucked. You can't do anything, because the blues have swept the entire map. And they can travel, they can teleport between any of these keeps, so it is much easier for them to move around the battlefield or just get shit done. Like if you are on a blue character and you want to go and do this delve, you haven't done it before, it's a lot easier than if you're on an Ebonheart Pact character. You'll have to ride all the way. You'll have to do it manually, you have to do it old school. So that's one type of PvP. It's open world, there are very few rules. You can get Zergs against one against many, whatever. Small scale, mid scale, solo, it all works. Then you've got Imperial City, which is a PvPvE. So there are loads more monsters and Daedra and PvE enemies in here. There are quests, there's a story, quite a good story actually, but there are also players everywhere. You cannot get away from them. If they find you, they will kill you. Well, if they want. And then finally there's Battlegrounds, which is much more structured. You can't be outnumbered because it's 8v8 or 4v4. But in the open world stuff, in Imperial City and Cyrodiil, you can become outnumbered. That's what makes it fun. So that's what makes it dramatic. In Battlegrounds, where you often have objectives other than purely just fighting, you know, capture the relic, crazy king, whatever, domination, chaos ball, all these different modes, then they reduce the chaos in there by giving you a standardized team size and by introducing ranking. So yeah, you get matched with other people of similar rank. So anyway, that's that. Hope that helps. Now back to this graph. So you can't see it very well because, like I said, every time I magnify it, hang on, can we just do this? There we go. Should have just done that in the first place. So this is the NA server on the left. This is the EU server on the right, and the yellow is non-vengeance. The red is during vengeance testing. So you can see the spikes of like server latency, the time it takes for it to send the results back to clients around the world or whatever. I'm not an expert in this stuff. You can see that is way higher. Way higher. Even though the cap is almost tripled. So that's the takeaway. It just really puts that into perspective. That's why they're not walking away from this. You know, despite the fact that players have major reservations about Vengeance, Zos are going ahead and are giving us a version of it. So for this final test, it's not the final, sorry. I think there are 3 more at least. But for this next test in December, we will introduce Vengeance-specific perks and loadout systems for character class templates. So a very, very limited stand-in for champion points, Mundus, and gear and stuff like that. These are designed to give you a bit more variety of your builds. Some funny phrasing in this compared to what was available in previous Vengeance tests. To be fair, it's hard to write a document like this and make it interesting, isn't it? Specifically, you'll have more control of your stats with 4 pre-built stat packages called loadouts, and then perks are these passives that give extra combat effectiveness and bonuses to your characters. So it should still be pretty easy to jump in, and it gives a little bit more rock, paper, scissors style gameplay, but it is still a very, very poor man's version of the standard Cyrodiil rule set that we have now. You cannot even begin to replicate the complexity and all the little interactions that you can have and the way that you can buff each other and yourselves. Yeah, so the complexity is drastically reduced. So the intent is to give characters a boost that's comparable to a single 5-piece item set that's purely passive, like Julianos, Mother's Sorrow, these kind of things. No procs, no buffs and effects and things like that. Hey, Elf Chibi, have a nice lurk. Moose saying it's the only large-scale PvP area yet. That's Cyrodiil. There's Imperial City as well, which is kind of what we covered. Kind of small, but also has the sewers under the main map. That's a really interesting, really unique area, probably underrated. Yep. And then there's small-scale PvP in Battlegrounds, which is much more managed. Like, you should be getting more of a fair fight, quote-unquote. Whereas in Cyro, the whole point is you can join a Zerg. You can play really, really dirty. You can be scummy. You can gank much more easily and get the hell out of there. In a battleground, you can still play a ganker, but it's going to be much harder because you've got limited places to go, and you'll be discovered much more easily, and you won't be as effective to your team. Whereas you can really grief people in Cyrodiil with a build like that. And Petrushka, damn, so I guess the DLCs are the must there. No. These are all... Imperial City is a free DLC. So don't worry about that. You can pick it up anytime you want from the Crown Store. Yeah, Cyrodiil and Cyrodiil's base game and Imperial City is free. Yeah. Map looking good right now, Fezman. Like it. Imperial City is unique because of Telvar. Erin, yeah, that's a good point as well. It's got that unique thing. And Petrushka, sorry about the ads. Yeah, I missed that. That's my bad. But if there's anything that didn't make sense or that you missed... feel free to ask. And Gilly-chan comes back from lunch, sees IC, oh no, the place where I'm constantly hiding. Yeah, so you can also do it that way. If you really don't want to do the PvP stuff, but you want to play the story and get the Sky Shards or whatever, it's actually a very effective way of making it a scary environment. Because the Imperial City during the plane meld is like the worst place to be if you are a mortal or an elf or a Khajiit or whatever. You do not want to be in there. It is just crawling with enemies. It's an absolute horror show. And the fact that there are other players roaming around that will kill you and take something inherently valuable from you. So in Cyrodiil, Petrushka, if you have a bunch of alliance points on you, I kill you, I will earn alliance points for killing you. And the higher your rank, the more alliance points I get. But I don't take anything away from you. Whereas in Imperial City, there is a currency in there called Telvar stones. And if I'm carrying 10,000 Telvar stones and you kill me, whether it's an open combat or you gank or you just get lucky, frankly, and you just get a killing blow when I'm fighting a monster or some other players, you will immediately get... You won't even have to loot. It will just be automatically added to your Telvar balance. Half of my Telvar will be gone and shared amongst the players who killed me. So that makes it interesting, and that's why Gilly is hiding. Because even though the stakes aren't really that high, I mean, you can't really die in ESO. You don't really lose anything when you die. You lose a soul gem, maybe, and some Telvar. Doesn't really matter. But the threat of that and the idea of being killed by another player, just psychologically, it makes that place really freaking interesting. And because the Daedra in there aren't actually that dangerous most of the time because of power creep and whatever else, it creates this feeling of this is a dreadful fucking place. I do not want to be here. It's oppressive. But yeah, obviously you can go in there, and if you are on a really good build and you're confident in your ability to use it, or maybe you've got a couple of buddies with you, suddenly you become the scary thing. But you never know, there might be a bigger group or a better player or a luckier player, whatever, just around the corner. And LeBro, only time will tell if we seek our own vengeance, but things are going to change for all of us, whether we, I mean me, dies often or not, yeah. Is that an RNG I see? Hey. Biggest thing, Pog, Petrushka, nice. Biggest thing you'll lose, other than Telvar, is your quest progress when you get ganked. Fesman, yeah, true. But do you know what I mean? It's not just me, right? Especially when I'm in the sewers, and it's creepy, and it's all fucked up down there, and it's dark. They use brilliant lighting tricks in there to freak you out. There'll be like a light that is like wobbling, like the swinging, and something in front of the light casting a shadow. So when you're coming around a corner, you'll see that light moving on the wall, and you think, oh crap, it's a boss, or it's a player, and it's not. It's just the shadows. But yeah, they do a great job of making it kind of a stressful place to be. Imperial City, one of my favorite things in the game. Alright, so they're also adding a Vengeance-specific inventory, which will store all your Vengeance items. During this test, remember, this is in December, you'll also be able to collect regular items while in Vengeance. They'll be placed in your regular inventory, so you won't be able to access them immediately, but you are picking them up. Many systems that were previously turned off will now be back on, including quests, vendors, leaderboards. Scattershot and oil catapults will also join the available options. Keep recall stones and channel repair kits will also be added. Nice. We'll share more detailed notes ahead of the December tests. Okay, so they got more. I mean, this has already been on PTS, so I think we know everything we need to know, but clearly they've got more stuff. We'll monitor the impact of these additional systems on latency and game performance as we have during prior tests. So what that reads to me is that they don't expect these to cause problems. They seem reasonably confident that ability and set complexity is the cause. And that now they've eliminated, though, they've found a way to eliminate those and sort of make up for them somewhat. They can now reintroduce the other things. Lastly, Grey Host, as it is now, so a non-Vengeance Grey Host, will also be up during the second half of this test, and we're going to monitor server performance for both. This comparison will allow us valuable side-by-side data. This will be a final adding new things test, where we compare the game performance of Vengeance with what a campaign looks like with all the systems turned on. We have another test or two planned for next year, for the sake of evaluating healing versus damage concerns. We'll share more about those next year. So where does this put us? And where do we as a dev team realistically think we're headed for the future of Cyrodiil? Reminder, this was posted yesterday, guys. With the caveat that the December test still needs to happen, we see two realistic paths forward. Scenario 1. We would open a Vengeance Cyrodiil campaign sometime next year with a special rule set based on the previous and upcoming tests and leave Grey Host open as it is now. Spelled Grey Host wrong. Sorry, Jess. Scenario 2, we would close all existing campaigns and open 1 or 2 Vengeance rule set campaigns sometime next year. So for those of you who hadn't already read this or hadn't heard about it, that's the big takeaway. What do you guys think? Moose querying why you lose progress. Well, just that you have to make your way back there. I guess you don't actually lose quest progress, but yeah. And Gilly, I hate that they take away my Telvar stones. I'm not an NPC you can just loot. I mean, it feels bad, but that's exactly how it's designed, right? But you're just saying it works. You're saying it's good, right? Because it sucks. In the same way that, I don't know, chess is fundamentally good because it's annoying or upsetting or frustrating to have your pieces taken, I guess. And Petrushka, nice troll face. I dig it. I'm winking back at you right there. Erin, Daedra, especially the roaming ones in IC, are amazing and somewhat hard to fight. Yeah, they retain their ability to kick your ass. They're a lot easier than they used to be. Like, I don't know, 4 years ago, I don't think I would have even tried soloing many or any of them. But these days, I'll solo any of them. And as long as I'm careful, I should be fine. But yeah, there are a couple that heal themselves if you're solo, and that can be a real pain in the butt. But yeah, they have a ton of CC and are constantly in risk of getting ganked. Or you are constantly in risk of getting ganked when fighting them. Yes, because you might as well. It's like setting off a foghorn in the middle of enemy territory. Like, everyone can hear the effects. Everyone nearby. You can't see it on the map, but if you're anywhere nearby, you'll literally be able to hear the fighting. I love that as well. The stakes, man. And Gilly Chen, yeah, the worst is dying right before you're about to finish your quest. The roaming bosses, I hear the badum, badum, and rush to hide somewhere. They're so scary. Hey, Greykirk, how's it going? I will redeem that floof's a treat in just a moment. Pluvio is a planet. How you doing, Pluvio? Nice hang yesterday, man. Hope you're doing alright. Hope you got enough sleep. Hope that sandwich was good. I didn't ask. As you can tell, Pluvio and I had a riveting social interaction last night after our trial. But hey, man, welcome on in. Erin, sewers are confusing as hell. It's so easy to get lost. It really is. Again, it's all deliberate. I love the idea of let's fuck with our players. You know, not in a cruel way or a way that is like frustrating to play, but let's try to turn them around and make them feel uneasy and vulnerable and all this stuff. I think that is great. Too much hand-holding and mollycoddling in too many video games. It's fine to have games like that. I'm fine with it. But, let's mix it up. Let's have some gaming landscapes which are perilous, Let's not let the Souls-likes have all the fun. Right, meeting time to skedaddle, no worries. Schnax, what bothers me is that they only consider current Grey Host and Vengeance as options, not any kind of middle ground. I suppose that is a good point. For now. But yeah, we'll come back to that. But that is a very good point, as usual. Schnax, Alatarel Vengeance is just a format test, sure. Well, it was initially, but clearly something was going to come of it, if it yielded good results. And they told us within weeks, I think, of the first test. Brian Wheeler he was on stream. He was like sharing a bunch of performance test graphs with us. And he was just ecstatic. So it was always clear they were going to do something with that information. And Moose, I want to know what the smaller than Cyrodiil PvP mode is exactly, yeah. There's my less relevant, but honestly, I just wish they'd changed the campaign names. They're still stuck in Greymore chapter names. Yeah, they kept doing that, and then I think they just went back to it. Yeah. Gilly, I've spent so much time in the sewers, I don't get lost anymore. Except in the DC parts, because I'm not often there. It was the epitome of a midnight sandwich. Does that mean it's like full of the most random stuff? The most random food items that you can sort of smash together. Hey, welcome back, Aaron. That was a quick meeting. I like the sound of that. Alright, so here we go. Where does this put us? Read that. As a dev team, scenario 1. So, a new Cyrodiil campaign with Grey Host left as it is. This is the scenario we strongly prefer and is the most likely. We want you to have a choice between playing Vengeance or regular Ciro, and would closely monitor both campaign populations to help inform any additional actions we should take moving forward. We recognize that many of our players, I'd say many, not some, but whatever, that's a small quibble. We recognize some of our players will prefer there be no changes to their characters, effectively how they are in the Grey Host Cyrodiil campaign, while enjoying the higher population and reduced latency performance, blah, 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 of the Vengeance campaign. This is not something that will be possible. It might be the most important line in the post, right? They can't do it. We wish we could. Hey man, I wish I could make you a coffee and jerk you off at the same time. Can't do it. It's a matter of, resources. That's a terrible and disgusting example. But yeah, she could almost have made a bigger deal. Like, that seems to be the key thing that players just need to understand. Because so many complaints, which are like legit, they miss that point. And hey, Subtle D with a Prime sub. How you doing, Subtle D? We're just talking about PvP here. Welcome on in, man. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate it. I hope you're having a good one. And happy Thanksgiving, I guess. In just a few days. Based on what we've learned from the test so far, we can offer one or the other, not both, and we want to be transparent about that. Lastly, we do want to share a few early bits about some things we're working on for PvP. You'll hear a little bit more about these in January, fingers crossed. For players who wish to enjoy a PvP experience that is more like Greyhost, we are in the early stages of working on a mid-sized PvP space. So this is, again, one of the most important things. The mid-sized PvP space. It will be smaller than Cyrodiil, but larger than our largest battlegrounds. I think it's going to be a lot larger, and offer enough room for 3-sided keep warfare and an overall similar experience to Cyrodiil. So that is another angle that they're taking. They are not, in answer to what you said before, Schnax, in many ways that precludes the need for a third option. They're not walking away from Cyrodiil. They're keeping it because people love it and they love it. Wheeler, it's his baby. He loves that shit. But yeah, they haven't been able to find a way, the magic, the silver bullet that fixes performance but also keeps all of the crazy layers of complexity that have been added over the last decade and a bit. So a mid-sized PvP space. This will be smaller than Cyrodiil, but larger than our largest battlegrounds, and offer enough room for 3-sided keep warfare and an overall similar experience to Cyrodiil. I'm just repeating it because that's all we've got. So it's fun to mull over that. I'm not even a PvP first kind of guy, but I'm really delighted that this is a thing that's coming. I mean, I hope it'll be good, obviously, for all my PvP nerds out there, but also for me and everyone else in the game. The goal with that will be to allow players to have their full suite of abilities, unique builds, equipment, etc., just like in Greyhost. We're also working on a PvP progression system we're excited to tell you a little bit more about early next year. Thank you for your continued feedback and support. Your participation in the Vengeance tests and related surveys has been greatly appreciated. We'd like to remind everyone that when we send out surveys, it's where it's important we are able to verify that participants played the content. We'd like to remind everyone, when we send out surveys where it's important to verify participants have actually played the content. Participants? What's that? Plants who participate. We have to send them out by email. Please consider opting into these emails if you haven't already, so you may be included in future sends. Thank you. And yeah, that was a key question. You're still getting a Q&A. So yeah, there we go. Just wanted to, reiterate all that. Apologies to those of you who already read it like multiple times or whatever. Skinny Cheeks did a breakdown video as well. I would have done, but I didn't have time. Honestly, the last we got to hear about this with a little bit of runway beforehand. That's why Skinny Cheeks was able to prepare a video that came out right on the dot. But I just didn't have time. Not a chance. Last 3 days I've been like nose to the grindstone pretty much. Pluvio, the Midnight Sandwich included mayo, that's all I'll say. Nice. Fezman, they should just change them to Imperial-themed campaign names. Yeah, that works. They will always be relevant, like Red Diamond. Yeah. Yeah, maybe they'll finally do that. Because why call it Vengeance? Yeah, White Gold Tower and Red Diamond. Or something, who the hell knows? Anyway. Nordenheim, hello! Sorry I missed you there, man. Sorry, was neck deep in forum chatter. How are you, sir? Hope you're having a good one. Hey guys, if you are still somehow unaware of Nordenheim, I'm pretty sure most of you know, but let's do the introduction anyway. Lovely fellow. Had the pleasure of meeting him last week in Amsterdam. Excellent vibes in his stream, does a lot of ESO, other stuff as well, but let's face it, we're talking about the ESO stuff primarily. Also, we discovered that we are actually quite similar people in a lot of ways. Like, Nordenheim is Norwegian, I'm Danish, but we both spent a lot of our time growing up in the UK with the Scandinavian family. It was kind of fun to... I've met very few people like that in my entire life. My mum has a few friends that, you know, for obvious reasons, have been through a similar thing, so that was fun. But yeah, really, really great streamer. Go and hang out there whenever you get the chance. And yeah, welcome on in, man. How was your weekend? Alright, let's go and do some Dailies. And again, PCEU, if anyone wants to join, you're very welcome to plus up at the Khan, K-A-A-N. No, we want world bosses. Give me the world bosses, baby. A creeping hunger. Well, I hope I don't have to solo it. I've been surprised at how many of these I've had to solo during the event. It's like, what? If there's ever a time that these bosses should be absolutely peppered with people trying to take them down, you'd think it would be during the event, but maybe it's because I'm doing it too late in the day, like just before bed. I'm like, oh crap, tickets. Participants, yeah, it was a good one, right? And Erin, one good thing out of all this is that they will not roll back subclassing for PvP, but at what cost? Or they will roll back subclassing for PvP. Well, yeah, I mean, it was always a tricky one. I don't love the communication we've had this year. It's one of my biggest complaints, actually, and it comes back to what I was saying about Solstice and the Seasons of the Wormcult story being very polished in a few areas that I was just not expecting, because Zos didn't... I don't know if they knew how to sell it. They did some really cool stuff. Maybe I'm just not up to date. Maybe West Weald was amazing. Gold Road, sorry, was amazing in all the same ways, and I haven't played it yet. But there were some very cool elements to the Seasons of the Wormcult which were just not highlighted in the marketing. Sure, a trial guy like me, maybe I'm not going to get immediately sprung over the, you know, over some story content featuring the return of like particular heroes and villains, but no, there's so many people who would be, and in fact I am one of those people. Once I got down in front of it, I was really engaged by that story, more than I have been in years, I think, by a new ESO storyline. I thought it was really entertaining. It mostly held up. It wasn't too MacGuffin-y, although there is some MacGuffinage in there as well. But yeah, the communication this year has been weird. And I think that's part of it. Like, when they didn't do anything to react to subclassing, they'd obviously decided, alright, we need to do a bigger response over the long term. Freaking tell the players that they're going to see immediately. It's like your wife, when she asks you to do something and then you don't do it, she's immediately going to notice. The players, we are the nagging wife in Zos's existence. The idea that they could just not deal with subclassing and it would escape our attention, you just got to say it. Like, I inferred that is exactly what was happening, but inference isn't really... it's not really sufficient. Anyway, I digress. And Fezman saying they started with a whole year of the insert current chapter name to make it themed, and they just gave up and got lazy around Greymoor. Well, I think they did give up because it was really hard. Oh, I see, you're just talking about the serial names. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the seasonal release model. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not a priority, so nobody... I'm going the wrong... I always do this. I'm pretty sure I always take the wrong turn there. It's because I do this boss so rarely. It's only when there's an event on. But yeah. It's not a priority, so nobody does it, even though it does need to get done. I've worked in so many companies where they're like really crucial everyday things. Like just like that. Right, where's the boss? Oh, nice. I got very lucky there. I thought I'd interrupt the poor guy right in the end. And Moose, yeah, but why? What was the point? Why does it need to be related to that year's chapter, not tied together at all? Yeah, why not just call it something and then leave it at that? Speaking of which, this is a random, but quite a persistent bugbear that I have. So if we look at fragments. So this year, the next collectible we're getting is going to be this, right? The Wild-Grown Chapel of Julianos. And I thoroughly approve. It's a beautiful house. LCI Hirochi made it herself. That's the housing lead at Zos. She built this thing herself. It's beautiful. I actually messed around with it on PTS quite a bit. Big fun. And it coincides with the sad passing away of Julian LeFay, after whom Julianus is named. He's the father of the Elder Scrolls, so this one is perfect. It feels wrong and bad for me to criticize it in any way. But I've always wondered, why don't they have these collectibles tie into the theme of the year somehow? Or even if the year doesn't have a theme anymore, tie into something that is happening in the year. It may be because of spoilers, like these come out before they've really revealed what the year is about, but come on. Like, they could totally have made this, I don't know, a series of worm cult themed things, and that would not have been a huge spoiler. Like, we've been expecting the worm cult for over a year, and I made a video about it almost a year ago, because they released a load of stuff about the Knights of the Lamp last year. Bizarrely, they didn't actually do anything with the Knights of the Lamp in Solstice, but that was what clued me onto the worm cult is coming back. So I was actually wrong in that prediction, but right about everything else. So very weird. That's always bugged me a little bit. Anyone else? That the morphing collectibles we get for that particular year aren't actually tied into the big release or the theme of that year. It's fun to dabble in subtly, yeah. Just like in Grey Host. And Fezman, you make a great point. That's why they should go back to OG names. Yeah. I remember Hadarus. Smaller area and smaller pot will be more prone to getting even more dominated by ball groups. In Syria, we have the option to get to a different keep. Yeah, I mean, these are the preemptive criticisms that we are imagining and throwing around. I just can only hope that Zos have the... they have access to the same information that the players do, more or less. Not quite the same perspective, but I can only hope that they have thought of that. But yeah, if it's a full fat version of Cyrodiil in a confined space, yeah, it just sort of beg the question, what's to stop super elite groups from just locking it down? And how are they going to avoid that and keep it fun? I would say it's more addressable in a closed arena than it would be in open world, right? So yeah, but we've got to take that on not even trust. They haven't said anything about it, so we're just gonna have to hope for the best, I suppose. And focus face is real. Yeah, I mean, it was getting too long as well going through that whole article. This is not even we don't stream PvP that often because I don't do as much of it as I should. I love it, but I don't make a ton of time for it. So yeah, but I wanted to go over it just in case anybody hadn't seen it or anybody hadn't had a chance to absorb or share their thoughts. So that's it, guys. I definitely want to hear where you're coming from on this. If you have any doubts or hopes about that. No, I'm not bad, thanks. How are you? I'm good. Glad to be back on stream. It's been a very busy few days. But yeah, pretty decent. We had one of those things, I'm sure you've run into this in the past, where there was a brief for a video and, we got on it, but then there was sort of a change of course, and the video turned into 5 to 10 times the thing that it was supposed to be. I've now had to split it in 2, and I don't think we're going to get paid anything extra. But it's kind of a stupid, non-commercial decision by me, but yeah. Blah, 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 blah. All good, thank you for asking. And suddenly, how's ESO been treating you, Khan? Been playing Arc Raiders for the last 2 weeks. Insanely fun. ESO's been good. Yeah, we've had some attendance issues in one of our prog groups. The Writhing Fortress was really cool. That finally came out. But unfortunately, it was... A lot of people had a really buggy experience in there. So it was another really bittersweet, mostly bitter experience for ZOS, where they finally deliver this thing that they've been hyped about for ages. They've been hyped about this for like a year. And because of, I don't know, their testing regimen and the number of people who did it on PTS just was insufficient. It was loaded up with too many bugs. There weren't loads, but they spoiled it for a lot of people, and it kind of ruined what should have been a really triumphant end to the year. So it's been a bit of a sad spectacle. Like, it wasn't shit, but it could have been awesome, and it wasn't. For perfectly avoidable reasons. So, yeah. That kind of bummed me out to see that. Just sad for the devs. Almost as much as I am for the players who are hyped for it. And of course, the early part of the Writhing War wasn't anywhere near as exciting as a lot of people had hoped. So that doesn't help either. But yeah. Been pretty good, thanks, Subtlety. Yeah, fun coincidences, right, Nordnheim? Yeah, that was a genuine fun one. It's been good, thanks. Little brother and his girlfriend came to visit with their dog, which is lovely. Aww. Pluvio was just doing bosses. If you want to do one on Somerset. Xenia, man, would be fun, but I'm hosting a friggin' handover meeting now. Next time. Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. Schnack, spoilers about the theme of the year are actually fun because people can feel smart about understanding them. Yeah, right? So, there was a little spoiler in... Where do I find the cakes? Why am I stupid? They're in tools, right? Yeah. So, this is actually... Obviously, now, we can tell that is Solstice. But at the time, it was like, I'm not quite sure what that is. But if you just read the damn thing... Oh, hang on. What? I could have sworn it said something about Solstice in the original tooltip. Maybe they changed that. Oh well, maybe I'm just talking a complete crap. But there was definitely a mention of Solstice on the original tooltip. I'm sure about it. Maybe it was in the furnishing? Who the hell knows? But, yeah, and that was still a few weeks before we got the reveal. So the only way to know that there was anything to do with Solstice was a cryptic mention by Van Scalarian at the end of the prologue, and the data leak, which was already out. You know, the data mining. Yeah, so I agree, Schnacks. I think you can manage it in a fun way, and it builds up hype. Even if everyone knows this is deliberately being fed. Pashushka, I'm wondering, why are you a skeleton? This is just a polymorph, and the reason you'll see a lot of people using it, by the way, you get it from a quest for free down here in Shadowfen, over here, called Stillrise Village, which features in our upcoming video, by the way, just ever so briefly. But the reason people are using it is that if I take it off, so you see right here, I've got my 2H, I'm holding it like a two-handed weapon, then I bar swap to my dual wield bar, and I'm holding them like daggers, as you do. These daggers are cooler. We'll switch to those. However, if I take the polymorph off, this is a weird issue that they've just introduced in the latest update. Still holding my two-hander the way I should. Switch to daggers, and I'm... What the fuck? I'm slicing off my right hand because I'm still stuck in the two-hander animation. For some reason, some little bug, which in turn bypasses another bug, this skeleton is not coded to use the new animations that they added in Update 48. They haven't broken everything, but they've caused some very weird behavior, and it can be distracting or just annoying in trials. Like if your character is doing an animation, like I think this is one example. If you're doing this ability and certain healing abilities like radiating regen, and you're taking damage, your character can sort of teabag the ground like they're trying to flap their wings, their arms to take off. You know, it's very weird, and it's a combination of certain casts and your character sort of flinching, you know, when you take damage. Your character sort of twitches, like, ow, ow, ow. That's the thing. And those aren't playing very well together after the new update. So Zos broke some stuff. And the polymorph is, you'll see a lot of these in trials if you do them. In the coming, in this patch. It's just a way around that annoying issue. That's why. Seasons of the Worm. Cult content pass. Why is it written like that? Yeah, season pass. I get it now. Thank God they did not name it Battle of the Worm Cults. Yeah, no, I'm totally understanding a similar thing with my IGN video, but they did pay fairly. I mean, this will be totally fair, I'm sure. But just when it's all done, I will say, look, if there is anything left in the coffer, here's an itemized, account of the work that we've done. I'm sure nothing will come of it, but goodwill, if nothing else. One of the proudest moments of my professional life was when I was doing a project for a wealth management company in London, in Mayfair. Very, very nice business, and I'd done this huge project for them, and for various weird reasons, the final fee came out to be pathetically low because it was to do with the size of the deal that went down based on the work that my team had done. And we all thought we were in for a really nice fat paycheck, and it turns out it was just a nice bonus rather than a really big one. So we were all like, fuck, this really sucks. My boss called up the client, a lovely middle-aged white guy, very, very posh, And for those of you who know Mayfair in London, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And lovely dude. And he just said, look, these guys have put in all the work, and it just comes out because of a technicality in the contract. You actually don't owe us what you expected, but I can attest to the work that they've done. Is there any? And he just went, oh yes, of course. We'll pay the full projected fee. So they parted with like 50 grand that they didn't have to spend, or something like. I can't even remember how much it was, and that was just so fucking classy. That will never happen to me again. That someone will give me anything that they don't have to, on a commercial, professional level. Anyway, let's go to Somerset and do a daily there as well. Nordenheimer decided not to take part because of the bugs. See, that's what sucks. That is what sucks, to keep people away who are fans of the game and happy to be cheerleaders for it when it's good. Yeah, so I actually personally experienced no bugs at all in the Writhing Wall. And in all the tests that I did, nothing. There was one bug, that was it. And I did tell us about it, but yeah, really sad that so many people had a shitty experience. Fezman, I'm purposely waiting for a continue Eastern Solstice. Haven't seen the game this buggy since beta post-launch days. I hear it persists through to the final boss fight. Can confirm, no. These were bugs that were particular to the Writhing Wall. But yeah, if you've heard that there are bugs in Eastern Solstice, maybe investigate, verify. I've heard nothing and experienced nothing, and I've played the whole caboodle. I think actually the bugs in the Writhing Fortress were pretty rare. It's just that they were so annoying. And so one of the things that happened was the Infernium on the western side could bug out before it smashed down the door to the Harvester, right? So that's a crucial thing. What happens when everyone runs to the Infernium? People wander around like, what's going on? Why can't we get through? Come on! And then eventually they give up and they leave the instance. But because there's always somebody in the instance and there are always people activating that portal to come into the Writhing Fortress, there are always new people porting into that instance, so it never gets reset. The instance doesn't know it's fucked. The game doesn't know that it needs to close this instance down. So you kind of need someone standing in there screaming at everyone, leave, leave, but, you know, in order to empty it out. Does that make sense? So that, even though it just needs to happen once, and then that instance will be there for a long time, presumably until the devs can like manually step out. I didn't even know how that works. But that's one of the reasons it seemed to be so commonplace. And also, we tend to complain more loudly than we celebrate as customers, and that's quite right. It's human nature. So it means that all it takes is a relatively small minority to experience these bugs for them to become a real problem. It sucks. But I'm not sure I agree that it's like riddled with bugs. Certainly not the zone in general. There's some weird Sky Shard issues, which I don't quite understand. Anyone clarify what the Sky Shard bug is? I know there's one there, but that's about it. Yeah, the content is really good, aside from the bugs. I would agree, yeah. Paul Not Canadian, hey, you pay players to play PTS when new content comes out. You get paid when you submit your feedback. Pay would be Seals of Endeavors, yeah. That's a thing that's come up a lot. Or make some sort of collectibles available. I don't even know which quest I picked up here. Graveld, who the hell's that? Oh, is that the Indrik? Or, no, I don't even remember who the hell this is. It'll be fun to find out. Khan's back pay would be insane. Yeah. No back pay. Why am I blanking completely on what the hell this boss is? Oh, I guess people just killed it. I see everyone leaving. Oh, this guy. The Salamandra. Alright, fair enough. LeBro, so Polymorph fixes the T-pose glitch? Thank you, almost thought it was my ping. Nope, it is animation changes. They made some code changes to make animations use less memory. But in the process, they broke a couple of things. Like, it's not... The actual gameplay of it is all fine, but it's just... The psychology of... This is all part of, like, UX, you know, user experience design. The psychology of seeing your character freak the fuck out. You know, they've had way too much caffeine when you're trying to just do your rotation or... or whatever. Is, it's very irritating. It's significant. So, yeah, you could argue that it's not a big deal, but it is. Hang on, am I done? Recover the Scrolls of Oath. Yeah, that was pretty decent of them, right, Nordenheim? But I just... If I could have remained in... This is when I was a management consultant in my previous life. Don't shoot me. I was one of the nice ones. If there is such a thing. Yeah, and I really wanted to work more. It was during the... like, post-recession... one of my colleagues and I, we sort of pushed into the wealth management sector because we're like, well, these guys are insulated from all the chaos that's happening. So maybe we can still make some money if we drum up some business in this particular industry. And it worked. It worked really well, and my bosses were very happy. But man, it ruined me for everything else. Because this is a bunch of people who are very... The professionals who work in wealth management are generally quite wealthy. All of the clients that they deal with are generally very wealthy. So most people are quite happy and chill. And it's not like doctors or lawyers or a lot of other professions where it's quite spiky and stressful and people are very performative about being a badass and, you know, being a pistol and you have to kind of bullshit your way around and through meetings and all that. I hate that. I suck at it. I'm too nice for that. Can't be bothered with it. And and it's not a talent of mine. So we loved working with these people. They were the most chill. Even though, you know, obviously where there's wealth, there tends to be a lot of objectionable stuff as well. We didn't have to deal with any of that, thankfully. Yeah, fun times. And Fezman actually ended up rage quitting earlier today due to a quest breaking bug. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Had to drop the quest and go back and do it all again. To fix it, for those who know what I'm talking about, it was the hunt for the Great Mage. So that's in Eastern Solstice, right? Is that one of them? Damn. I mean, I was very methodical in the way that I did both sides, because I really wanted to pay attention. So it may be that I got lucky. If anyone else wants to do this one, I guess he's going to respawn fairly soon. You haven't done your Somerset dailies yet. Fortunately, Zos knows about most of them. I'm loving the new zone overall. Well, thanks for the mixed feedback. It's nice to hear, like, both sides. The bugs fucking suck. They ruin they ruin my enjoyment of the thing, but at least the content hiding underneath the bugs is good. Yeah, here we go. I love the way he comes speeding out. Do not judge the build, guys. This is just my overland nonsense build. Do I have Reaving Blow slotted? It sure doesn't feel like it. Son of a... Man, I love Rush of Agony sometimes. Sweet. Oh, come on. Give me a break. Paul not getting into my game crashes when I exit a delve? Go into or exit a delve. That sucks. What? Use Way Shrine message says an unexpected internal error has occurred. Got my 12 event tickets done with the event, only come in to get Endeavor's daily. Happy Flowers, what class? Mag Knight Blade? No, it's a Stamina Knight Blade, but as you probably noticed, Assassination, Adric Spear, Storm Calling. I like Storm Calling for Overland, just in case you run into something with a bit of bite, like this guy. Yeah, I probably would have struggled to solo it without major resolve. Certainly makes things easier, more efficient. So I love Storm Calling for that, I use it a lot. Assassination, I gotta, because it's a Nightblade and it's awesome. Adric Spear, I guess because it's easy. It synergizes well in that it's direct damage. And biting jabs is fun, I guess. And it gives me two potential sources of major brutality and sorcery. So there is some thought that went into this. It's not a complete crapshoot. But basically this is just my dicking around in overworld content. I would not bring this to a trial. Although I did bring it to a dungeon once with you guys, right? We did some dungeon nonsense on stream. And it was able to hold its own. But yeah. Nightblade is my favorite. Happy Flower. What about you? To the extent that there is still any class identity in the game. Still curious what people's favorite class is and why. I think one of the reasons for Nightblade, you know, the look, the feel, the sound, the design of everything. It's so aggressive and fun. But also, the theme of it is really interesting. The idea of healing yourself and sustaining by killing things and dealing damage. It's very much the way I like to approach this game, and it's pretty much the way that Elder Scrolls wants you to play. The game never fucking tells you, but they absolutely want you to bring as much damage as possible, and then bring the minimum amount of survivability that you need in order to get through it comfortably. And that's, you know, that'll be different for different people. But essentially, that is the key. Get yourself the minimum that you need, or that your group needs, in terms of survivability, safety net, and then throw everything else into power. And that is how all good things happen in this game. Basically. People who play the game defensively are being perfectly sensible, and it's the game's fault that it doesn't tell them more clearly, or at all, this is kind of a dead end. You know, you're going to have less fun, and you're going to take more time if you do it this way. I'm not sure how the game could solve it, but I think it's a major flaw of this game, which I love. I love this game, but it's a thing that I've returned to again and again over the years. As soon as I became aware of it, really. And I feel like we're seeing that now with the amazing synergy between... Yeah, Reaving Blows. I didn't even have it slotted. Crap. I should have, probably. Reaving Blows plus Pragmatic Fate Carver, or Reaving Blows plus Biting Jabs, or even more, you know, Puncturing Sweep, that you're getting healed per tick. And then if you have something like a Critical Surge, which you don't even need if you have the above, but you can always add that in as well, then you're just dealing so much, you're healing yourself by so much, but without actually pressing a heal, ever. You're just dealing damage, and I love that theme of Nightblade. That was always there, that it thrives on combat. Always dig that. But yeah, Paul Not Canadian, you got any more info on like what that could be? Is it possible that it's an add-on? I'm sorry, I'm simply not equipped to help you or diagnose that, but you know, it sucks that is happening. If it's a widespread thing, we should try and learn more about it. And welcome back, Lily Dried. How you doing? Back from the phone. What did I miss? Just some world bossage. Nothing major. Kick his ass, Nikki. Thanks. First matter, yeah, nobody can criticize something more than those who love it. True. Just ask my wife. I want this game to be the best it can be, and it just saddens me to see such good content being stained by the lack of QA this year. I'll play this game till I die, or it does. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. I won't necessarily play this game till I die. Like if it does something that, if combat is simplified, for example, a huge amount of the fun will disappear for me. So I might still stay for story content, and you know, buy the chapter once a year, but basically no ESO plus, and just never play it. Never do any more PvP or trials or dungeons. Like if they were to ruin the combat system, I'm out. Forget about it. That's like the main reason I'm here. Anyway, we've got another quest to hand in, don't we? Devil's Master, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. And Guns N' Roses, with the options menu in ESO, there are written guides, per se, for loads of different things. Could have been great if this was also explained when making a new character. The options menu. So you just mean all this? Yeah. I mean, we added a fairly lengthy section to the Ninja Paul's new player guide, the one that Maya just released quite recently. And I don't think we'd really included it before, but it's all the stuff like quick cast ground abilities. Make sure that is on. There's no reason for it to be off. Where is it? It's not in combat, is it? Yeah, quick cast ground abilities. There we go. And, this. If there's anyone in chat who doesn't recognize what I'm doing, take note. Settings, gameplay, combat cues, custom colors. You don't have to do it, but boy, does it make your game easier to play. So much easier to play. If you do dungeons and trials like ever, or PvP for that matter. It's so helpful to be able to see immediately what's up. What you're standing in, where it ends, and where it is safe to be.
You actually did it?
Wow, she can't believe it. Low-key shade thrown at my Nightblade here. Whoa, what, you killed something? No way. No way! Way. Quick cast ground abilities. Yeah, that is just to
What do you want?
So if I'm throwing endless hail, or a healing springs, or blazing spear, I just press a button, aim and press. The default is that you have to press it twice. Blech. If somebody prefers that for whatever reason, that's fine. But yeah, so if I switch that off and I press my spear, the AoE appears, and then I can then take all the time in the world to place it. But why? Like, it just doesn't fit at all with ESO's fast-paced, dynamic, reticle-based combat system. It seems like almost it might be a leftover from before everything was reticle-based. They had to redo healing completely, because it used to be just auto-target. Just lock onto someone. Like this. You tab target or whatever. And there was no reticle. Like other MMOs, typically. The fact that I'm moving my camera just by moving the mouse around was relatively unusual for an MMO when this came out. Much more like an action game.
What?
And there are still WoW players who come over here, they're like, what? In WoW, in order to do that with the camera, you have to, is it right click? Or you have to hold down a button to toggle the camera to free camera? Poor not Canadian, don't use add-ons. Well, you can't blame those then. Yeah. Yeah. Schnacks, have a fun dungeon group tomorrow. We have Ice Reach hard mode at 9:17, and I'm trying to get that further down. 9:17? Does it really take that long? So that totally sounds like I'm throwing shade. Now, I'm surprised it's such a long fight. Or are you saying that you guys take 9 minutes and you just want to see how much lower you can get it? That is a long fight, isn't it? Or is it... hang on, you're talking about the entire dungeon, aren't you?
Clean things up around here. I know how to keep a low.
Yeah, that's like, what the fuck? 9 minutes, there's no way. Schnacks has taken 9 minutes to do that hard mode. Although, when it first came out, I can imagine people doing 7, 8, 9 minutes. Easy, I bet. I bet the first time I cleared it, it took us way over 5 minutes. I'm sure it did. Yeah, Alatariel, repair the game. It can happen after updates. On the splash screen, there is a cogwheel, game options, where you can repair. Yes. Devil's Master, I feel like just staying in bed today. Oh, no! It's either because I'm low on iron or it's winter. There's a tank in a couple of our prog groups called Winter. I'll sort him out for you. Well, I'm sorry, Devil's Master, that sucks. Although, if you can get a nice day of rest out of it, I guess it's a good thing. But yeah, if anyone's got any dungeons or dailies they want to do, now is the time to hit me up. I'm pretty much free as a bird now. It's 1:30. I'm down. And Paul Canadian, not Canadian, sorry. Once I get that new house, I plan on uninstalling both my ESO accounts and going hog wild and enshrouded. There's been so much Enshrouded chat here recently. I got a message from, well, Maya got a message from one of our buddies, Purple Glue. She's dropping out of one of our groups, and she half-jokingly blamed it on me and all my Enshrouded streaming over the last few months. Because we showcased it for Games Fests. And evidently, I thought everyone had heard of Enshrouded. Because it's been popping up in my sort of daily news feed of gaming stuff for, man, 18 months, maybe longer. PC Gamer have written about it a lot. So it's one of those things, right? When you've heard about something in your sort of ambient news intake, you just have a tendency to assume that everyone has heard of it. And that's, of course, that's not true. But yeah, loads of you had not come across this game before, so when we showcased the gliding and the incredible base building and all that stuff, we sold, well, we didn't sell anything, but like something like 10 copies of the game were eventually sold based on that one stream, and that's why we went to the devs and said, hey, your game really plays well with this demographic. Shall we do a little event for your next... We didn't get paid or anything. They were. I don't think they quite knew what to make of it. Wait, a content creator just offering to do something fun for free? Because that's just not how the game works, really. But yeah, Maya was just like, yeah, we'll organize a mini, not a raid train, but just sort of a pool party, we called it, for the release of their new water update, and yeah, that was it. And so there's been a lot more Enshrouded happening, lots of keys given away, and even I've ended up playing it a little more than perhaps I should. Although nowhere near as much as I'd like. And Raptor, how you doing? Hey, I'd love to go to the UK one day. Never been to Europe at all. I'm not sure I'd make the UK your first stop. Although there is some amazing geography in the UK. And there's some low-key, awesome stuff about the British culturally. I think which is undervalued by them and by other people. Like... trashy media like Denmark isn't too bad, but if you go to Italy, apologies to the Italians, but if you go to Italy or America, the quality of the programming there, I'm not talking about movies and TV shows, but like game shows, news, all of that stuff, advertising, it is so horrible if you've been living in the UK for a while. And it becomes clear that the way that it's regulated and just managed, and the way that it's culturally perceived, press in general, not just like broadcasting, but newspapers and all that, that is a thing I would miss massively if I ever leave the UK again. That and the countryside. But yeah, there are other places I'd go to first, like France, Italy, Germany, Denmark. Yeah, loads of amazing stuff. Spain? Because it's such a touristy place, easy to forget how awesome it actually is. In a lot of ways. How about Castlethorn hard mode? Yeah, let's go. I'll tank. Vezman, I finally caved and turned my ground ability colour to bright pink. Was never a problem for me until I was soloing Shada's Tear in Craglorn, and the Nereid boss abilities were half buried in the swamp ground texture. That's a great call. Germany's got such gorgeous architecture. Yeah, Germany is right up there. I fucking love it. And as a Danishman, I ought to require some convincing when it comes to the Germans. You know? But I don't know what, I think it was because my godmother lived in Germany and my whole family is from southern Jutland, so very near the German border. Like an hour and a half away, I think, roughly. Used to go to Flensburg a lot when I was a kid, or Flensborg, as we'd call it. And yeah, just always dug that shit. Always loved it. You're trying to have to get the cats to the vet. All right. Sorry, I probably missed Gilly now, but yeah, fair enough. Guns and Raiders. I use white for enemy attacks. Pink and white are the way to go. Yeah, or like baby blue. That can really work. Anything that really stands out. The blue might not be great in an icy, frosty dungeon. And the pink is a little bit less visible in fiery places, but generally you're good wherever you are. Most of the other colors have at least one environment in which they don't work so well. And welcome back, Paul Canadian. Fezman, also a great suggestion. I've been on default red since launch and I'm finally experimenting. Nice. Well, muck around, definitely. Like one of the best things that we can do is mess around with our keybinds and UI, and it can make a surprising difference. And I like that Zos put that freedom in there to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I might have preferred a better UI and UX to begin with, but you know, they were learning how to make an MMO like this, and the game has changed quite a bit. Not just from its early development to its release, but since its release until today, it's changed quite a lot, in fact. Crazy. Lily Drought, I'm playing it right now. Nice. Nice. Guns N' Raiders, got to have that color that does not interfere with anything else in the game. Yeah, anything NPC or friendly stays green or mint. There are so few of those, I don't feel like it matters that much. Yeah. And Paul Not Canadian, I bought Enshrouded the day it released in early access. Played about 12 hours and fell in love with it, but knew I couldn't play ESO and Enshrouded. I see. Anyone else want to join for a Castle Thorn? We could probably two-man this joint. Won't be easy, though. And hello, Cake. How you doing? Oregon Cake. Everybody give it up for Oregon Cake. If you're not already following her, do it. Ah, nice. Pluvio's going to join us. Excellent. Oh, it's the pledge. Well, thank you for mentioning that. I didn't even realize. But yeah, go give Oregon Cake a follow, guys. I had a real giggle last time I was hanging out. It was it's like over a week ago now. Wasn't it, Cake? But that was fun. We were talking absolute nonsense. Well, you and everyone was. But I was giggling away. So many good hangs to be had in this community. I love it. Castle Thorn, normal or vet? Definitely vet. Definitely hard mode. Let's go. But yeah, Devil's Master, we could probably two-man it. So if you just want to bring whatever, I'm sure we'll be fine. Don't worry about bringing major deeps or anything if that's why you're asking. It's fine. It's fine, to be honest with you.
Well, what are you waiting for? Be off and get that pledge done.
Alright, let's catch up with chat, everything I missed then. And Devil's Master also saying I'd highly recommend Copenhagen to visit. Lots of fun stuff to do and see. That is true. Great city. I'm biased, but it's true. And let me guess, you also shopped at those big border stores that sell lots of booze? Oh yeah, my my Mortmore was all over that stuff. Mortmore in Danish, by the way, guys, means literally mum mum. Or mother mother, so my grandma. And you can probably guess what Mortfar, Fartfar, and Fartmore also means. I love the simplicity of that. Lovely. Let's try it, Devil's Master. Let's do it. I should have enough healing and shields for the entire group. I guess we'll find out. Fleckgar, yeah, Kalle, yeah, oh my god, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. Fesma, kind of like those green round circles around the Solstice Reaper camps. Still never know what those actually were. Yeah, same. I think they might have only affected the NPCs. I'm not even sure. Hey, Devil's Master, welcome on in. Copenhagen is awesome indeed. And coming from a Swede, big talk. Pluvio, my UI is chef's kiss now. Amazing. Welcome. Welcome on in, everybody. We're just about to do some Castle Thorn. It's a pledge today, and Pluvio is going to join as well. I will await your plus. Le plus. Trading Guild sending me reminders. I'm not making enough money. Boo. I've just not had time to list anything in the last couple of weeks. So I'm having to pay the fees. Yo. Oh yeah, you used to live there, right? You take the enemies there and the arrows attack them? Ah, okay, Guns N' Roses. I wasn't even sure that was it. Sweet. Oh no, Pluvio can't join. He doesn't own the dungeon. Crap. Anyone else want to join there? That means we have a spot. Probably a 3DD run would be the easiest, so we can skip everything. And Oradon, thank you for the shout out. Yeah, no worries. A few weeks back, housing in December, just raiding at the moment and trying to teach people. Yeah, you do lots of that stuff. Yeah, appreciate it. Cake, that's awesome. So, do you take viewers and stuff with you? If they're there and they ask nicely. Because that could be something of interest. If you guys are hanging around, give Oradon Cake a follow, and if she happens to be doing trials on stream and teaching people what's up, you might be able to get something out of it. Fezman, you know, that makes a lot of sense. I assumed it was just another bug with a massive Zerg train going during the event. Never really saw them or get used. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So these are the green AoEs that were around the siege camps. Actually damaging the enemies, but there was no need. There's just no need for it. A beautiful barbarian. Yeah, I do speak Danish. So are we talking, are you Swedish then? That means we need another Swede in the group. And it'll be an all Scandinavian, well, just Danes and Swedes in this group here. Yeah. Mycket bra. My Swedish is rusty as hell. My great uncle married a Swede, and they had kids up there and everything, so we used to visit them a lot. I haven't been in ages, so... But I used to learn more Swedish every time. I love it up there. So nice. Maya and I actually considered moving up to the woods in Sweden years ago because one of our friends of the family had like a hut, like a proper cabin, and it was in the middle of nowhere. It did have internet, I think, but that was like it. And it was really big and really cheap, like stupidly cheap. I think it wasn't even $100,000, and for this enormous house. But yeah, would have been interesting to see what would have happened out there. 743, but Lord, that's nice. That dragon hits like a goddamn truck. You just got to get good, my friend. But yeah, eventually, you got to put everything into survivability, right? It's crazy. Lily Dryad, congrats on the 8 million. Love it. What are you going to spend it on? Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Last time I went to Castle Thorn, I got the bug for the first time. Well, do you want to join us? That was terrible. Glad that trifecta was out of the way long ago. I've still never seen that bug. Who wants to join, guys? We've got one spot. It could be a healer, it could be a tank. It could potentially be a DD, and then I can just heal everyone. I might have enough off heals to get us through it. Oradon Cake, I mean, the rosters are usually full beforehand. Well, there we go, yeah. As they're posted a week in advance, but more than happy to take people. But also, you know, even if people aren't able to join, the fact that they're there, like, listening to you chat and giving instructions and whatnot, that's helpful, I think. Yeah, I have to go and pick up Maya in an hour. Can we clear Castle Thorn in an hour? That is a distractingly cute character, actually. Devil's Master. Oh, she looks lovely. My tank looks cool, but she looks like she might smell. You know, the greasy dreads and the outdoorsman sort of clothing. Or that leather. I don't know. Come on, guys. There's got to be someone who can join for a Castle Thorn. I guess we can just get going with the three of us. And people can join as we go. Yeah, Erin, let's go. Alright then, Erin, give me a plus and then I'll use the Q. Whenever you're ready. She looks like she might smell the comments at me laughing. I'm just trying to be real with you, man. I enjoy doing that, like picking apart the game, whether it's decisions that writers or designers or artists have made, or decisions that players have made. I enjoy, like, just unpacking them a little bit and thinking, well, what sort of, you know, real-world, modern-day critique could we subject that to? I think it's a fun... It's a fun thing to do. Our beautiful barbarian saying, Devil's Master, yeah, very nice character. Agreed. If I was home, but I'm working. LeBro, you've just saddened me greatly. I'm not going to get to witness your fitness in in that thorny castle. I would join Swedish, yeah, true, but I'm working. Yeah, just trying to get a solid schedule. Yeah, man, I'm not even able to get teaching runs to go when I'm streaming at the moment. We're gonna see what we can do about that. We've got to figure it out. But yeah, it's a work in progress, right? And the beautiful barbarian, some VTuber or YouTuber, sorry, lives in the forest. VTuber, pretty cool. They build everything and source their own food, whole family and everything. I love that stuff. Yeah, big fun. I can't keep taking your tank spot. Yeah. Doch. I just want to say it in the style of Till Lindemann. Oh, there we go. We've got a plus. Well, actually, we got a ps from Erin there. Right, if one of you wants to fake heal, Unga Bunga DD. Should it be... Hang on. Let's just clarify something. Erin. To my mind, Ooga Booga DD means... Smash with club. Or, you know, like an Arcanist. Well, it is literally an Arcanist. Or a Stam DD with, you know, with physical weapons. But Ooga Booga. That's what that is. Unga Bunga means Silvio Berlusconi shagging teenage girls. So, which is it? Which were you going for here? Unga Bunga parties. Sorry to lower the tone, but... I think terminology is important, right? Alright, let's go for a veteran Castle Thorn. I hope you're all ready, because here we go. And thank you for fake healing. Love it. But in order to join One Day Carmen on PCNA, we'll get there. We will get there. And thanks, Erin. She looks like she might smell. Yeah, thank you, Erin. Appreciate it. But Lord, it was a nice laugh. And Shanak's working as well. Also not Scandinavian. Ah, you're close enough. Honorary. Honorary status unlocked. Alright, so guys, before we pull... I know you probably don't care, but Tremor Scale, Lucent, Drakes. I'll probably keep that on in all encounters, so...
Seems fairly quiet here so far, Taufik. You're not misleading me, are you?
Gwendis is kind of a fun character, isn't she?
I see no need for this distrust between us. A meal for the
Yeah, I think we're gonna be fine. Look at that damage. So, how is ESO PvP nowadays, Silken Outer? Well, we just went over a fairly major announcement. They've been testing some stuff in Cyrodiil to do with, like, beefing up the performance, and basically they've narrowed it down. It's much as they expected. The reason Cyrodiil doesn't perform the way it should is because abilities and sets are a little too complex. Well, a little. They just can't handle it. So what they've done with this testing is they've come up with a new mode, a new rule set, which on the one hand massively improves performance, but on the other hand it really gimps the the diversity, the creativity, you know, all of that stuff in PvP, and they just released a statement on the forums yesterday. Welcome to go and read it, obviously, or rewind in the... Erin, we're just here because I'm talking. Talking to chat, but yeah, let's crack on. I'll let you just follow, just unquestioningly. You can read it on the forums, or you can go back through the VOD once this stream is over if you want to get a quick rundown. But basically, yeah, change is happening. They're going to have a... They are going to keep Grey Hosts. They're going to scrap these others, by the sound of it, and they're going to introduce this new rule set. And they're also doing a new, completely new PvP mode, which we don't really know anything about yet. But it sounds like it'll be halfway between a BG with a seat, like with a keep in it. Like a really big battleground, three-way, big fights. But it won't be like full-on open-world Cyrodiil. And maybe between all of those changes, there'll be PvP that works for everyone. I think that's the hope. Alright, I'll do one of these. We don't have a healer, so I'm going to have to be relatively diligent with this. And we're done. Nice damage. So yeah, Sikanauto, welcome on in. And sorry I mispronounced your name before. Now looking for a new game after New World. Ah, that sucks, yeah. We've commiserated a lot in recent weeks, as you can imagine, with our New World refugees. It's really sad. It seems unnecessary as well. So yeah, for what it's worth, we feel bad for you. And welcome on in. I will say this for ESO, the combat system is good and interesting and dynamic. Kind of like New Worlds. A lot of people compared it to ESO when it was first released, in that sense. And the community here is great. Like, genuinely. I need to use my ult more, otherwise what's the point in running Drake's Rush? It's not worth using in any of this trash, is it? Feels like we're on normal, guys. This is ludicrous. Right, we're gonna nuke the crap out of this guy. Big nuke. No mechanics.
Well done, Talfi. You brought me a daughter of Verandis as requested. She will complement our Lord's army well.
Did you know about Unga Bunga? That's the first time, like that's where I learned the phrase. I think that's pretty much where it comes from. It was popularized by that, by the scandal of Berlusconi's really nasty Epstein-style parties, you know? 14 seconds. 14 and a half.
Just caught me by surprise.
Just a reminder, this is veteran. And this is not a... Why can I not go through the door? Come on. Wake up. Wake up, tank. Oh, let's not bother skipping anything. We'll just pull what we have to. This we can skip, can't we? Who's gonna get pulled in by the scythe? Somebody always does, right? I'm just gonna watch and wait. Oh my god, we made it. Maybe it's because Maya's not with me. She normally gets yanked by that scythe. Alright, let's catch up with chat real quick, guys. Sorry. Yeah, me as well. Erin, oh, I'm sorry. I hope I haven't ruined the character name. That's kind of gross. They just tested no proc doing it again. It's not the same. It's very, very different. I don't have time to get into it. Sick and outer, but yeah. Ahel, thank you so much for the gifted sub. You're an absolute legend. Gifting a sub there to Oridon Cake. Amazing. Zim, welcome on in, Zim. Have you ever thought about how you swap the letters in both your name? You become Man. Or Man? And Kaya? Yeah, we've used Kaya as a shorthand a bunch of times. Yeah, you played ESO before New World. Nice. Thank you, Aheld. 3 cheers for Aheld, everyone. Keeping the channel alive. Keeping Ninja Pulls pulling. Really appreciate it, brother. I love Lady Thorn's voiceover. It's not like crazy over the top until she, you know, enters vamp mode. But big fun. Alright, guys, try not to kill each other when we get stacked. Let's see what happens. Oh, nice. I'll keep it turned this way. These guys hit harder than I thought they would. This is really, really grotesque, actually. The fact that these animals are all still alive.
Push on to the cathedral while I search for clues.
You see that? Twitching. That's a really fucked up mechanic. Like, I don't know, if I think if I were here, I would busy myself with getting all these animals down. Maybe not the Chorus. Oh my god, there's a person there? Jesus, it's so nasty. Vampires. Who knew, huh? Guns and Raiders have to go. Thank you for streaming. Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much. Unga Bunga is just yikes. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Zimnabad, huzzah! Thank you. Thank you for the vibes and the cheering. Appreciate it. Let me switch back to trash. This is like ridiculous. I'm not sure I've ever tanked this with just 3 DDs before. I'm pretty sure you can just skip these ads. I wasn't sure if I would survive that. I thought it might be a one-shot, so I dodged roll the first. Couldn't be bothered dodging the second. Oh man, imagine if we get a trifecta now. Sans that death. Whoops. Rip. So guys, this goes for today, or just generally, if you've ever got dungeon requests, provided it's not just like, carry me through this, and this. You know, provided you actually want to, you know, group up and get something done together, I'm always down. Provided I'm not busy with something else, which during stream, around this time of day, generally I'll be available. So feel free to ask questions or requests, specific dungeons, even if you don't want to run it. You just want to see it. How'd you like my stack? Oh yeah! Alright, this is why I want 3 DDs for this run, because this fight is so easy if you just nuke him. Just full burn, ignore everything. We'll move if we have to. There we go. Pretty sweet. Good job, guys.
You deserve worse. The cathedrals are too far ahead. Lady Thorn should be inside.
I'm not entirely sure how this last hard mode is going to go without a healer. Healer would certainly be nice, but we shall see. I'll stack on the right. Wow, I can't really stack here. Welcome on in, everybody. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday and a good week generally. I haven't said it in a while. You're watching Ninja Pulls. This is Khan. Hope you're having a good one. Devil's Master wants to tank, I see. Are they kind of stacked today? Often these guys are a real pain in the ass. You know, one will come to you and the other one will just run away. It's like trying to get 2 dogs to sit still for a photo. Good luck. Unless they're Labradors, then they're greedy and just have to hold up a bit of food or what have you. Did I miss anyone?
You found what remains of the prisoners. Such brutality. Look at all these documents. There's information.
Absolute gall!
Okay, so please don't die to the Rive. And if somebody does, just be like, we just need to be smart about when to res them. Wait for a Rive to appear. You can even bait it somewhere else, then go over and res. You know, all that whole thing. I'm gonna try to run Stagger here. I might have to give it up. I don't know, I haven't 3D'd this before. I'm sure it's fine.
Try not to die too quickly. Make me work for it. The blood becomes even sweeter.
I could have maybe slotted expert evasion here, couldn't I? That would have been smart. I said don't die to the Rive.
Your struggle gets tastier by the sec.
Oh, man, you would not have survived that if your DD wasn't beefy as hell. I'll try and keep her close. Then she hopefully won't do the incursion or whatever it's called. Oh no! Nice stampede, Barbarian. I love that choice. Surprise, motherfucker! Again, I'll move her closer so she... Yeah. Hopefully she won't do that again. We're getting through it though, we're recovering. I feel like my Ulf Silt is often not going off, or the animation doesn't seem to be popping the way I expect it to. I got the big guy. Yeah, movement speed can be really nice here. Still wonder what exactly that bug is that people keep talking about. It's where the circle doesn't appear, right? And you just have to guess where it is.
Accept my embrace.
Chat's gone awfully quiet. I'm the one doing the dungeon, not you guys. Come on. Oh no. We can get the res in a moment. It's all good.
To my domain.
Alright. Should be the last one. Yeah.
I hunger for more. Let loose your blood. Let me taste.
Man, these ads just die almost immediately. I shouldn't even be chaining them out. Hey, Moose!
Got you. Embrace the pain.
That was bad. Sorry, I'll move her closer, then she won't do that.
You cannot run.
Brutal. I'm just gonna leave Erin. Oh, where did Erin go? Oh no, we may have lost one. Unexpected internal error has occurred. Thanks, Zos. Oh, sorry, man. To be fair, we should hopefully have time for you to get back. Yeah, we're at 37%. I think we have plenty of time.
Every cut, the power in your
Kiddings, I'm enthralled. Nice.
this meal will be the finest in years.
Certainly not enthralled by my ability to avoid those AoEs.
You never know what lies
Alright, so we need to go crazy when she comes back down in execute. That's going to be genuinely quite unpleasant. Habanatro. Yeah, it turns out there's enough healing. There aren't enough like nasty dots on the group to really tax what we've got here. That's pretty nice. Nice job, Barbarian. Look at that. Solo killing this big guy. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, no stam. That's gonna be a rip. Yeah, just people can't die during that phase.
Beautiful castle on your way to me. You deserve more than such
Is there a way to get rid of internal server error message? It sounds like that thing where it has logged an error with your account and it needs to cycle or whatever the term is. And unfortunately that's like a 10 to 12 minute thing. Hey, Roger Bjorken, does any of you guys have the visual bug on the AoE? No. I've never seen it. I heard people talk about it. I have no idea what causes it. Is it just that the AoE goes away, right? Yeah, beautiful Barbarian saying, Erin, usually for me it's a 5-minute cooldown for logging back. Oh, Erin's back, there we go. That's for saying you wanted vengeance, PvE. Yeah, exactly. And Zole, man, this is one of my favorite dungeons. Love it when people ran Hitty's Hearth here. Hitty's Hearth. Oh no, I'm gonna cringe when I read what that does. Aren't I? When you heal yourself or an ally with an ability, gain a warming aura. While in the warming aura, you and group members... Oh, so it's not completely useless here. What a weird set. No wonder I didn't remember what it does. So, you and your group members restore a pathetic amount of health every 2 seconds. And reduce the cost of sprint, block, and roll dodge by 5%. Like, but the thing is, with sets like that, I'm guessing it's just because of the fun synergy between that and the dungeon. But what are you sacrificing in order to run that? You know, you're saying goodbye to, say, Pillagers, Master Architect, Spell Power Cure. What am I doing? Expert Evasion, right? I didn't even need it, but it would have helped. Get rid of Bracing, don't care. And let's go with Celerity instead. This should make things significantly easier. For me. Not for you guys. Alright, so just catching up with chat real quick. Oh, fuck. Expose your veins? No, thanks. I'm good. Her voiceover is terrific.
Embrace the pain.
They did a really good combo of like monster and sexy with this boss, I think. Careful of the incursion. Nice. I don't even know why I did that call up. By the time you guys heard it, I'm sure it was 2 seconds too late. Yeah, Roger Bjork and Sim, I've never actually experienced the bug. There's always at least one or people in my group that get it. I think it's bullshit. People are just pretending because they're too crap to play. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm sure it's real. It's just odd. Yeah, certain people get it all the time. Others never seem to. But kind of kills your ability to do the fight by the sound of it. Oh, this is so much nicer. Just that little extra speed. Oh, shit.
Accept my embrace.
Just putting stagger on the guy.
Become the beast.
And then she complains that we don't taste good. Then why not just let us go? Right, another big guy coming in.
Feast on your terror.
Oh, we got very lucky. There, the AoE just did a nice loop around the ad that we needed to kill. That's pretty sweet. If only it would do that when we need to res someone. It never does.
I hunger for more.
Alright. Come on then, Lady Thorn. Show me what you got under that loincloth there. Under that He-Man loincloth.
Taste.
Like, seriously, fashion goals. Oh no.
Got you.
I love that line as well when she kills someone with the incursion. Ah, got you. Just to pour salt into the wound.
Such delicious power.
She'll only do that incursion, guys, if you get too far away from her. So try. Obviously, when we res, we have to move. Alright, here we go.
Escape. Got you. Let me taste.
That was close. I saw that coming. It was almost a very, very big mistake. Nah, I'm not going to be able to res. Might be able to res now. Let's see if I can get one. Oh, give me a break.
Delicious.
Nah, I'm getting pushed. I don't think it's possible with all these little shits. So the thing to do is wait for her to do arrive, bait it, and then move. Come on. No, it's so mean. I should just wipe it, but I kind of want to keep going. If only I had sword and board ult on my front bar. Then I could do it. Ah, I was unlucky. The rope spawned where I was headed instead of... Man, every time I'm about to get it, she does the scatter. But there we go. It's very difficult to res in this fight. That's kind of the key issue. I'll tell you what, I will... This is kind of redundant anyway. Why don't I put on the sword and board ulti? Doesn't really matter which one, does it? Now it's time for solo. Yeah, you can do it. Apparently I've run out of food during that bout as well. Alright, let's catch up with chat now real quick. The PvP news. Rage was that they're going ahead with a version of Vengeance on the live server, but they're going to keep Greyhost as it is. So current Cyrodiil, Vengeance style Ciro, and that they're making a new PvP mode, completely new, sort of a mini Cyrodiil, so a big siege, like sieging keeps, but it's kind of a giant battleground with 3 sides. We don't know much about that yet, but there's a long document posted in the forums all about the test results, what they can do, and the takeaways are that they cannot deliver the performance gains and keep Cyrodiil the way that it currently works. They cannot do both. It's not possible. So that's what they would prefer, it's what the players would prefer. It can't happen. So they're giving us these 2 options. And they're letting us decide, really. Like, do we shut down Ciro and just go with Vengeance, or do we keep one? And I think almost unanimously people are saying, option 1, we keep a version of Ciro and create a new Vengeance version as well. And then we'll see what people are playing. If no one's playing Vengeance, they gotta go back to the drawing board with this. If no one's playing Greyhost anymore, well, we're fine. Probably. Any skills they can use that'll be helpful? If anyone has room, if anyone has got Shadow, and they can put on Twisting Path, or if they've got room for Rapid Maneuver. I mean, I could run it, potentially. You can put on the wings for yourself then, Devil's Master. Feel free to run, yeah, Selfish Vigor, by the way. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, DLC dungeons are pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah, some of the more recent the DLCs, the cooler they look. Absolutely, Petrushka. Yeah, I'm scared I will miss out on some cool content. Well, it's there for you. There's only ever been one thing in the game that has disappeared, and that was the Writhing Wall, and even that is coming back. The Writhing Fortress is at least early next year because there were too many bugs, and they want to give players a bug-free experience. Oh yeah, just sad saying the bug was when the dungeon was new. People still say they get it. Or at least they claim they get it. Base game dungeons are cool thematically as well, just not as difficult, not as cool looking. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the healing circle around the healer. Yeah. Oh, I see, it's on it. So you were dissing the use of Hitty's Health. I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone use that. But yeah. Just going out, kind of. They've been doing it for a year, still haven't figured out what's going on with the lag. They have. They just cannot. The way to fix it is to bin parts of what makes Cyrodiil Cyrodiil. You know, so they're having to sacrifice relatively core parts of the experience. painful, but it's necessary. Like, if they want to fix it, there's no good sitting around on the forums all day complaining about what could have been. They're doing something, and hopefully it'll improve things. And Asterial, hello! How you doing? Let's do another one of these. Trying to move her as little as possible when I do that.
Gets tastier by the second. Enough playtime. I thirst for blood. Embrace the pain.
Man, the alt gen on this setup is so fun.
You cannot run.
Look at that, just stun all the little ads there. I should be able to get this res. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah.
Such delicious power. Let loose your blood.
I'm being a little bit lax with the stagger. Nah, she's fucked off anyway. Good stuff. Loincloth, seriously? Yeah, why not? Again, we got relatively lucky with the circle, just like rotating around that dude. It's pretty good. Got to keep my eye out for the next big guy. He's coming soon. I don't want to miss him because he can one tap a DD. There he is. Amazing. Come here. Should be done after this, I think, so we can res. Maybe one more? Is it? No, that's it. That was kind of a dangerous res, wasn't it? Welcome back up. Now here's a deadly AoE for you to res into. Oh no. I'm guessing you guys aren't using or aren't watching Code's combat alerts. No, I can't res.
Let me taste.
Yeah, so the thing to do for those who are watching and are curious is to bait the Rive first and then go for the res, like there. Barbarian smashing it. And if you're on Frostcloak duty, remember you need to fire it again each time somebody gets rezzed. Otherwise they'll get up with no major resolve and will probably die pretty quickly. I'm surprised how often tanks need reminding of this in trials. I guess as if they're learning. And they're probably keeping the buff up for themselves, primarily. And aren't thinking like, oh, the healer just got rezzed, so I need to recast it. Just for that. Oh, she's stuck. I love it when she does that, when she just stops to have a little think.
Power in your veins fills the air. This meal will be the final.
Really, the thing to do would be to nuke. But we're not gonna make it.
Power within your blood. Begin. Let me
Rapid maneuver here. Yeah, like, used to run with a Nightblade, and the path made everything so nice.
feast on your terror.
You never know. No, I do know. Sometimes you get really lucky and you can just get the res.
My embrace.
Oh, he's still alive. I can't res. Put that guy's up.
My domain.
Man, yeah, every time I'm taking the risk, it's not working out.
The feast.
And every time I start resing, the channel stops for some reason. Oh, that's agonizing.
Drink your strength.
That was so close. Alright, we're just gonna have to nuke it.
Delicious power.
The boss deals quite a lot of damage here in Execute. If you kite too far away from her, she'll throw a spear. Like, not a spear, but like a projectile at you. That shit really hurts. And it's kind of subtle. So you can be like kiting away and not notice that she's smacking you. And then drop block and then 2 hits and you're dead. That was a shame I couldn't get the res Erin right at the end. Almost had you. But yeah, whatever. That's a classic Castle Thorn scenario, isn't it? There's one player down. You want to get him up before the execute concludes, but it just isn't possible. Well, thank you, guys. That was... Whew, got the blood pumping. No pun intended. Yeah, that's what I mean. Rapid maneuver. Yeah, I don't want to run it, but if somebody else was able to provide major expedition, that would be... Yeah, you're right, Moose. Of course. I don't want to run it. There's a reason I didn't slot that shit. I've never once needed to sprint in this fight. Yeah, well, you're not on a tank. You know? And, you're just tapping sprint here and there. It's not so much that it drains your stamina, but it just stops your recovery. And every tick of recovery might be useful. But yeah, that was pretty good in the end. Pretty nice. Hey, Gilly-chan, welcome back. Zode loves this dungeon, yeah. Thank you for following. Thank God, thank you. Thank you for all the follows today, guys. Oh, have we got time for another quickity-quick dungeon? I wonder. What do you guys think? Yeah, I was running out of stam too fast to roll dodge. Yeah, you can't roll dodge them all. You want to kite as many as possible and then make sure you have enough stam for a roll dodge. Devil's Master doesn't really want to do another veteran DLC. You can feel the anger boiling and just want to rage quit. Oh, really? That was making you angry? Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just enjoying it. But, yeah, fair enough. What we could do... We could just a plain... Like, let's go back to... I've only got 20 minutes. So why don't we do one of the other pledges? Whichever one is most interesting out of the two remaining. Let's get it done.
I hope you're here to tell me of your tremendous...
Oh yeah, Devil's Master, fair enough. If you're not sure what's going on, different situation. So I don't mind trying over and over, provided you can see what's going wrong. It's very frustrating if you don't know, though. You're absolutely right. City of Ash 2 is a bit long. Banished Cells 2 will be fun. Why don't we do that? You guys can port to me if you need the pledge. If anyone doesn't want to go, don't worry about it. Just leave the group, and I will know exactly why. But yeah, I'm going to ditch City of Ash 2. We're not going to do that. Fuck it. Actually, a pretty cool dungeon. Just one section near the end that ends up being too long-winded. Hasn't aged very well. And, yeah, it's a bit long. It's just a bit long. Moose doing everything he can to pick a fight. Well, I feel like I need to sprint. I always have done. Well, not that I necessarily need to, but I end up sprinting quite a lot. And yeah, I shit you not, having done it with a mag blade, back when they used Path and Stamblades didn't, we were like, oh my god, this is just so much easier for everyone. Just that extra movement speed. It's just way easier. If you don't believe me, then that's fine, but it happened. And since then, we would always bring a Nightblade. My buddy and I, well, we used to play Stamblade anyway. And then when Twisting Path became a skill that Stamblades would use, it was like, oh, this is just bring a Nightblade to that fight. Everything becomes easier. So yeah, that's the only reason I was asking about Major Expedition. And it was because Devil's Master was saying, hey, look, I've got room for abilities if, you know, if there's anything useful I can run here that would make it easier. And yeah, that was the first thing I thought of. But yeah, obviously rapid maneuvers isn't ideal. You'd rather have the path. I'll do a ready check to see if everyone's got the pledge. Think I need a more stam recovery for being more roly-poly? Yeah. Yeah, maybe. It's not to stay inside the circle, Moose. It's the fact that the rives spawn inside the circle, often in the direction you're moving, and that prompts you to either scurry out of the way, do a quick course correct, because the circle's moving one way, and then the rive will push you towards another direction. I guess we can just, if you're a tank, you just stand there and eat it and break free. But my instinct is always to avoid it. And, yeah, you either do that with a dodge, hence cheaper dodge rolls, or you just tap sprint real quick, and it gets you out of trouble. Let's go. So Banished Cells 2. Alright, we need to get rid of that Writhing Fortress video guide, much as it pains me for it to become irrelevant so quickly after I made it. Ugh. That kind of sucks. By the way, guys, did you know? I only found this out the other day, towards the end of the event, that, so while we had the fortress, the Writhing Fortress, that people who didn't buy the content pass obviously did not get access to. Did you guys know that people who didn't buy the content pass also got exclusive content? I'm not making this up. This is an actual thing that Zos did, because they're either so frightened of how mean their player base can be, or they were just being incredibly generous, or a bit of both. They made a special instance which I could not have played if I wanted to, apparently. It only came up on Sturk and was only available if you didn't have the content pass. Which is wild, right? This is a quest where a bunch of soldiers on Sturk are falling ill, and Raz suspects they're being poisoned, and he wants you to investigate and track it down. Hey Mike, am I seeing it, or you don't use a minimap? No, nobody should use a minimap. Of course, anyone is welcome to use whatever they want, but the game does not need a minimap. I will die on that hill. Anyone who wants to use it can go ahead, but and forgive my reaction, but it's a conversation I've had so many times where people are like, this game needs a minimap, and they're insisting that it does, and yeah, I'm just like, no. If I really need to see where I'm going, I can do this. But yeah, a minimap would be nice. Clearly, so many people use an add-on that brings it in. But no, I don't use one. Just messing with you. I also used to hang out with a guy who got really angry whenever someone would insist that the game needed a minimap, you know? So I've inherited some of his curmudgeonly... Why do they always stack up the door like that? I've forgotten that. Clan Fear refusing to get changed and then it jumps in anyway. Good one, dude. Good one. He hums off key. Man, this dungeon is spectacularly easy now. I really, really hope after they do the overworld difficulty increase that we will get some really beefy increases to the difficulty on these old dungeons. I would love... There are a few things in the game that I would love more, I think. You know, Hellra Citadel, Fungal Grotto 1, making these like really difficult. Not the standard, but making a, you know, a version, creating a difficulty where... Come on, dude. Barbarians attracting too many Daedra. Stop being so alluring to the Daedra. They're just running around after you. Everyone's bashing the chest. Nobody wants to open it? Yeah, bash that thing. Hey, Zarkon. Yeah, I played that content on my second account that did not have the content parts. Cool! Yeah, it didn't occur to me to do it. Like I said, I didn't know about it until very late in the day. Poor Immeril. I feel bad for her. It's very sad. Have you guys ever done a lore run in here? Relis is a really terrifying character. A real piece of shit. And a real psycho as well. Oh no, did we get the bug where she died in the portal? No. There we go. I think that can happen. You can kill her just after she activates that thing. But obviously, it has to be very specific timing. Wait, is there a minimap possible? Yeah, via add-ons.
How easily you slaughter Daedra and keep her alive. How much more powerful could you be made with mine?
Harvesters. They've become so much more interesting to me after the worm cult story. There are a few like notable harvesters in the mix there. Not least Galfa Torres or Gufatares, whatever the hell her name is, in the Writhing Fortress. You know, the giant lady, big harvester lady. All right. Yeah, valid. I don't need it, but very useful sometimes. Yeah, fair enough. I agree, compass is enough. Most definitely don't need minimap in ESO, but I did download one a few days ago, just to check it out. That was an interesting slip of the tongue.
And if he escapes, all of Tamriel will pay for our folly.
I never get the sense that Syrian is on the money with that. If Rilis escapes, all of Tamriel is in danger. Seems like one of those where they just like, we need the stakes to be high, so let's just say the world is in danger if this guy gets out. Yeah, one another difficulty level after veteran, exactly. Much, much more difficult. Basically, I'd love it if all of the dungeons that aren't brand new got a, ideally some sort of scalable difficulty increase so they can do it again in 5 years. If they need to. Without, like, having to replicate all of the work. Alright, let's do a proper countdown. Apparently we're in combat? Oh, well, whatever. Oh, there's the first Daedroth. I completely missed it. Hang on, I need to keep them alive, don't I? That's the hard mode here, isn't it? Or is it... we need to have 6 of them. How many? Is it 3? No, just 3. Can't be 6. Man, I have not even done this in such a long time. I've forgotten how it all works. But chat, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 3, right? Oh, look at these cuties. Just following me around. So I felt like the hard mode here was never the real challenge. It was the fact that people were so bad at the game back when I started, probably including myself for much of that time, that you wouldn't end up with 3 Daedroths. You'd end up either with 2. Okay, we can nuke him now. We'd end up either with like 2 Daedroths, so not enough. Rarely. That was when groups were very, very skilled, but dumb, and would like mess up the mechanic, or mess up the hard mode. Or you would end up with like 9 Daedroths. I think 9 was my record. I think Maya once had 11, and another tank that we used to play with, we were hanging out in voice once, and he was doing pledges with randoms, and he was like, "Yeah, I've got 12 Daedroths right now," because the group was so slow, people kept dying, and yeah, mental. Yeah, Lena Elvira, ADHD, need a minimap, constantly pressing M, and it's so distracting. I'm like, oh, maybe I should go X instead. I see. Yeah, I tap the map pretty regularly just to make sure I'm on the right course, but yeah, between that and the compass, I'm usually good. And Moose, for base game dungeons at least, yes, they're too easy now. Yeah, they are. Like, and there's nothing wrong with the content. There's nothing wrong with the mechanics. If they could just scale up the damage and the health of the bosses, the threat. Maybe I'm being naive and maybe it would require more of a rework than I'm imagining. But even if that were true, and what I'm suggesting, just buffing the numbers, would only be a stopgap, it would still be cool as hell. I would still welcome it with open arms, you know? Bachushka, I'm so used to minimap because of WoW and gathering resources, but playing, so I didn't even think about it. Funny. Yeah, hey chicken, how you doing? Welcome on in. When you pug, you end up with 6. Exactly, Moose, yeah. Either that or your DDs focus the ads. Aye. 14. Is that your max? Lily Dryad. That is just a Daedroth gangbang at that point, isn't it? Jesus. Terrifying. Just the sustain alone. Not to mention keeping taunt on all of them. Yikes. Dayhawk, why was the moon wet? Because it was waning. Oh dear, I like that one. Devil's Master saying, what's better, more of the Infernal or Bloodspawn? Yeah, apples and oranges, Erin's right. Bloodspawn, very rarely used in PvE these days. Tanks used to run it, there's nothing wrong with running it. But there are often better options like Zaldrus, whatnot. Bloodspawn is amazing in PvP. I've got a couple of builds. Well, not amazing, but, you know, very handy. I've got a couple of setups that have used that. But yeah, more of the Infernal as a straight-up damage set. It's pretty good. Like, just shy of the top tier, I would say. And if you're using Daedric Prey, for some reason, in your rotation, if you're a Daedric summoning DPS, then yeah, more of the Infernal, absolutely best in slot. A new test for tanks. How many Daedroth can you tank? Nightmare. Moose, I don't know how many Daedroths I was holding, but the boss did pull into the air mechanic on me. Then when I landed on top of the Daedroths, stuck in falling animation, because I was technically still falling, but I couldn't move, because they were holding up the rest of the fight. That's wild. Zone, just add the expert difficulty, and you get 3 undaunted keys with pledges. Yeah, crowd surfing, Daedroth surfing. And thank God, TY, hey, thank you very much for the kind message you just sent. Really appreciate it. On that note, guys, I'm afraid I gotta dip out. I gotta go and pick up Maya. We're gonna have some lunch, and I've got a ton of work I need to get on with. But hey, after 2 days off, it is great to be back. Thank you for the couple of subs we got today. If there are any more lurking around, either shoot them my way or save them for tomorrow. We will be back at 11 AM tomorrow, UK time, so midday, I guess, for a lot of you fine folks. But hey, thank you so much for the hang today. Always much appreciated, and thank you for the follows. Thank you, Devil's Master. Thank you, Beautiful Barbarian. And thank you, Erin, once again. That was a fun group. Getting shit done. Yeah, Balord, a big hug. Ah, thank you so much. I'll get a hug from Ahelt. It's fine. I'll send yours to Maya. And Gilly, thank you for being here. Kiddings. 10 more minutes. I think we would need like 100 subs for Maya not to be fuming at me for being late to pick her up. She gets so little chill time. That's yeah. So, Erin, thanks. Take it easy. Thank you, everyone. I just started dinner. Moose says, "Oh, I'm sorry, man." But yeah, gotta go. Let's see what's going on in the ESO category. Thank you all for sticking with me today. I really, really appreciate that. Never let it be said that we don't appreciate you guys. Oh, here we go. We haven't said hello to Bislobo in a little while. Please explain to him, guys, that I had to run immediately. I'm not even going to be able to stick around. But as per usual, if you don't know Bis, you're in for a treat. The guy is lovely. He's going to be doing some mad PvP, loads of energy. He's great. Friend of the guild. Go and give him a follow, and all the usual. Stay with the raid, stay with Bis, and have a lovely afternoon. And give that guy a follow, and make as much noise as possible. Please copy that raid message, and give him a huge burst of energy when you hop into his stream. Take it easy. Have yourselves a wonderful afternoon and evening. I'll see you tomorrow.